Hey, hi, hello, and good afternoon. My name is Amanda, and welcome to Harmony Portal Tarot Live. Happy Woo Woo Wednesday, everybody. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. If you haven't noticed, on my community tab yesterday and then today in the chat, I posted my Harmony Portal Substack link. Go check it out. I have one kind of introductory welcome kind of post, just more of a, I don't know, kind of how do you it's like I said in the thing, it's like, how do you narrow down your whole life story or what it is you're here to do in like a very 700 words or less concise way? I always struggle with that. And then trying to narrow down the bio, which is 250 characters, not even 250 words, 250 characters. I'm like, twiddle, twiddle, twiddle. What do I say? I don't know. Words are hard. Yes, they really are. And especially when you have so much you want to say, but you don't have as much space or time to say it in. So yeah. But I did make my banner, and it was quite a grueling process because I didn't realize it, and my husband finally figured out why. But every less than probably 5 seconds, sometimes closer to 8 seconds, my like I'd be working on this big computer that you guys know I haven't really worked on a lot since last summer, and like it would like a right click pop up, like I right clicked even though I didn't right click, and I even changed out my keyboard. I'm now using my fun keyboard, not that old black Dell, just so dusty and boring that I've had since probably since Boston was a baby. I'm not even kidding. A long time. So we plugged in this new one, and by we I mean my husband. My new mouse, we're like, oh, maybe the mouse is stuck. We got rid of the Dell mouse. And funny enough, this is probably cheaper than a Dell mouse, but it's pretty. It's purple. It's like, you know, it's my vibe. And that still wasn't cutting it, but I really needed to get moving on my Substack because I want to get over there and kind of get not established, but established enough before July that I can just offer everything that I offer, minus maybe a couple essays or something, because I can't cram that into maybe just 2 weeks time, but I'll try. But anyway, I needed to make a banner. I needed to make a what do you call it? A little, like, not the profile picture, but the, what do they call it? A logo icon or something over on Substack. And I think I even wrote my name as Harmony Portal over there. I probably need to change it to Amanda. I'm like, Harmony Portal, Harmony Portal. Yeah. But anyway, long, boring story short, every 3 to 8 seconds, it would right click. And like, if I'm trying to cut something out in my very backwoods way that I'm doing it still on my Photoshop CS3, which if this computer goes, I lose that. It's gone because you can't use the old serial numbers anymore for the really old versions of Photoshop. Now you just have to subscribe and pay that. You know, I have no problem subscribing to something that is like created by someone and then curated by someone, like a Patreon or a Substack. Like, I have no problem with those kind of subscriptions because that's just kind of the nature of what's going on. You're paying someone every month for their brilliance is, whatever that may be. But these companies that are, I mean, I understand certain companies, it can work that way, but I don't know, like Netflix, that makes sense to me. But something that is, like a Photoshop, they were doing it one way. And so I just, in my mind, I'm like, they're just money hungry. Like, they can't just sell a good product that works. They have to say it under the guise of, oh, well, you'll get all of the instant updates and it will just update automatically and you'll have access to like the newest and greatest. Great, cool. Make that an option for those that want that. My version of Photoshop, I don't think has been updated in 5 plus 10, I don't know, many years ago. I bought it in 08 when I was still a student at the university, and I've been using it ever since. But yeah, it still works without all the bells and whistles and updates. It's worked all these years, unless my computer's giving me trouble, which it was. But and by me, I mean my husband, found that the Wacom tablet was plugged in and I had like cards and a notebook stacked on top of it. well, though, if you know anything about a Wacom tablet, it basically acts as a mouse. You know, you use a pen, it almost acts as a mouse, or, you know, kind of in that regard. So it kind of hijacks your computer if you're not mindfully using it. Like if you lay your pen on it, even it will kind of draw stuff all over the place if you have Photoshop open or something. So I took probably 5 hours to make something that would have taken me, well, once I had my idea, it would have taken me about a half hour, but I was still kind of hemming and hawing and puttering around trying to figure out an idea of what I wanted my stuff to look like. Um, but yeah. Oh, you guys are talking. Hi, Kashmi. Hi. Oh, that's cool. Anyway, so long, boring story short, again, I finally made my, what do you call it? My banner, my profile picture icon branding thing. I don't know. And then I made it and I was like, does this look too AI? I mean, obviously I use like AI tools to kind of cartoonize that the image of me that is my profile pic here on YouTube. I used AI for that, obviously, because like all these programs are just AI now. But it's my same font that I have. It's the background. I'll just show you guys. I don't know if we can see quite. There it is. Maybe, kind of. Oh gosh, let's do this. I don't even know if we're seeing it. There we go. Okay. So yeah, this is a picture I took of my Delos tarot, which is right here. We've been using it at least the last live stream. Oh my gosh, I can't hold this steady. But anyway, to see it in all her glory, go over to Substack. Yeah, so that's, hopefully it doesn't look too AI. I promise I made it myself. It's really sad that's the world we've come to, is I promise I didn't use AI. I promise it's not AI. I promise that I created it. But there it is. I wanted something colorful and fun and also spiritual. I don't know. Trying to figure out branding for something is really hard. I just winged it. I was kind of like, there was a bit of frustration thrown in because of the whole right click issue I was having that was kind of hijacking my computer every, I don't know how many seconds, but it was a grueling process. But now that I've had a few days to sit with it, I'm actually pretty happy with it. Pretty okay with it. It's pretty okay. Exactly. I can brand for others all day long, no problem. But when it's for me, I'm like, I mean, obviously I understand other people are very multifaceted as well, but I'm like, I want it very clean and minimalistic, but yet also maximalistic. But you can't do both at the same time, because I can really appreciate some like sleek, clean, minimalistic designs for logos, branding, banners, all that. But then there's that maximalist at heart that I am, that needs to messy up the background with just a pile of Delos tarot cards, like, and have lots of pops of colors. So like, the maximalist in me always wins with my own branding. It always wins, always, hands down, 10 out of 10 times. It wins every time. And I'm not mad at it. I love it. It just takes me back to my 90s, like collage and zine creation days, you know, when you'd make and if you don't know what a zine is, it's basically like a mini magazine that you make on your own. Most of them were like Xeroxed or photocopied back in the day. And then like you would, I don't know, maybe you'd pick out, like going through your magazines, like Teen or 17 magazine that I had back in the day, YM, Sassy, all the fun things. And you cut out stuff and then you're like, ooh, these are the cutest boys. Ooh, these are the funnest makeup looks. But, you know, to get color copies back then was like, ooh, expensive. So a lot of them were just black and white Xeroxed. So, you know, to try to share a shade of lipstick that you're really digging that day isn't going to really work with that. But, ask Jessa. She saw my walls at their epitome, at their peak. You know, the tiger beat and all that. You'd you know, rip out the like posters of the different cute boys and whatever, and you put them all over your wall. Well, I did that, but then I did like the micro version of that where I'd cut pictures of not just boys, obviously, but like fun art that I saw in a magazine, or like an ad that had really pretty splashy colors that I loved, or I just loved the pose. Like the Skechers ads, the original Skechers ads in like the early 90s when it first came out, like kind of like 93, 94, maybe as late as 95, 96 era of Skechers and Airwalk shoes. Hands down, some of my favorite ads. And I would just cut most of them out and put them, glue them on like a construction paper. And then I would put that quote unquote poster up on my wall. Like I could spend hours and days and hours doing that. And so this is kind of what this reminds me of, but in a more clean and digital way. And by clean, I mean less mess on my floor and desk and all the things. Where did I put my scissors? They're hiding in here somewhere. But anyway, yes. So that's created. And fun fact, my plan is we're going to do Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. We're going to do Friday's live stream on the 19th. So 2 days from now, this coming Friday, June 19th, we're going to be doing our first ever live stream over there. And it's basically going to be a webinar format with a reading at the end, how we do over here sometimes, where we are going to really dive into this 4 planetary 10-degree Vedic astrology alignment of the outer planets plus, which the outer planets are Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, plus Jupiter. They're all going to be at the same degree, be it Western or Vedic. They're all going to be at the same degree, in their respective fields. I think it's 14 degrees of Western astrology for each of their signs that they're in. And then for Vedic astrology, that's at 10 degrees. So, and that's going to start with the sign, if we're going to make an Aries ascendant, we're going to start with the sign of Taurus, which is where Uranus is. If you're following Western astrology, it's going to be at, I think, 14 degrees of Gemini, that Uranus alignment. And then, the other 3 planets are going to be making trines and sextiles, I think, to each other. And then, of course, if you have any personal planets in the mix, very close to, if you're doing Western, 14 degrees of Taurus, Gemini. No, it's going to be Gemini instead of Taurus. Okay, let me just give you the placements and then you can decide from there. Okay, so Western astrology, let's start with Vedic astrology because it's easier for me to move forward rather than back for some reason. So Vedic astrology, we're going to start at Taurus with Uranus in Taurus, 10 degrees. And then we're going to have Jupiter in Cancer, 10 degrees. And then we're going to have Pisces. We're going to have nothing. Wait, no. I messed it up. Capricorn would be the next one. And that's going to be at 10 degrees Capricorn for Vedic astrology. And then Neptune at 10 degrees of Pisces in its own sign. So they're forming all sorts of sextiles and trines, which are really good energy. The only kind of breath-holding part of it is Jupiter is exactly opposite of Pluto, which Pluto, as we know, it can be that planet of destruction and transformation. When it's in its shadow, it's just destroyed for the sake of destruction. But when it's healthy and when it's your own Pluto and your own birth chart for your own purposes, it is really to transform what's no longer serving you. So it's like a tower moment, but only taking away the things that aren't serving your spiritual journey, if you look at it that way. So for Western astrology, this is going to put that Uranus into Gemini, 14 degrees. It's going to put Jupiter at Leo, 14 degrees. It's going to put, what's the next one? Pluto at Aquarius at 14 degrees. And then I guess Aries is, Neptune is in Aries. So that would have been the one kicking us off. So Aries, Neptune at 14 degrees for Western. I'm likely going to kind of give the caveat that, okay, here's the Western placement. And if you have any 14-degree Western placements in those signs or even trine to those signs, oppose those signs, like for me, my 7-degree Mars is in Virgo, which is directly opposite. So opposed. I have my Mars opposing the Neptune of this and trined. My Mars is trining the Pluto, yikes, and the Uranus in the Earth signs. Again, per Vedic astrology. So that personally is basically saying, we're really lighting fire under your butt. You're going to have to become the most spiritual version of yourself that you can be, because that's what I'm being called to be, and to let go of the things that are keeping me tethered to old versions of me or old just scripts, that we run, or habits, identities that we form. It's a big tower moment for me personally. And maybe for you too, but also maybe really good and exciting, because with every ending is a new beginning as well. We look at it this way. So Yes, it's coming for us, but not in the way that we feel like personally attacked or has anyone else felt personally victimized by Regina George? I don't know why the Mean Girl references keep coming up the past few live streams. I have not watched that movie probably since the mid, like probably later to the mid 20 teens. Well, definitely before Boston was born. So it's at least 15 years. I don't know. But it's just such an iconic movie that you literally can hear it in your mind. So funny. Oh, you're bringing on your own towers. And that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, let's just detonate it before the rug gets ripped out. Like, that's where I'm personally at. And not like I'm bracing for impact. I'm like, I would rather gently walk myself through this, even though it's going to hurt and be painful, rather than have myself tossed to the waves overboard in the middle of a churning hurricane ocean, that's how I look at it. But, to each their own. Some people are like, well, I'm not going to borrow trouble. I'm not going to, I'll just wait till it actually happens and then I'll worry about it. And been there, done that as well. I mean, I've been on both sides of it. So like, I get it. I get it. And even in my personal life and career life and just all the areas of life, I'm like, I want forward momentum. I want something to happen. Even if it looks really scary and strange at first, I'm ready because I can feel intuitively and just in my bones, I can feel the beauty that's on the other side of this transformation for me personally that is scary, but also really exciting at the same time, but also scary, So to each their own. But yes, all of that to say, Substack will be on and poppin' for this planetary alignment that's taking place. And this is taking place, if I remember correctly, I think it first formed somewhere around July 19th, and it's still going strong until about the 22nd of July, because Jupiter is the fastest moving of those four. Well, if you take Saturn out of the mix, it's the four outer planets minus Saturn, and then jump forward a bit to Jupiter. So all the outer planets, except Saturn's not involved. It's very much where it's at it's with Neptune in Aries per Western and Pisces per Vedic astrology. But yes, we're going to really dive in and just talk about the astrological implications. This is huge, and I've touched on it here before, but we're really going to get into it in a more planned out, have my notes pulled up over here on this screen so that I can stay on task and actually get you guys like hopefully a potent, like compact 30-minute, but yet in-depth webinar about what we're moving into, just what this means. This really is like the last catalyst before the Cross of the Sleeping Phoenix kicks off in 2027, which I'm also going to do a deep dive on that over there on Harmony Portal Substack coming up in the coming months. So be excited. I'm excited. But I wanted to make everything that I post over on Harmony Portal Substack until July completely free. That includes all the live streams we'll do over there. That includes any essays I post over there. That includes, I want to do weekly card pulls where, I'll just literally pull 1, 2, or 3 cards maybe, lay them out in a fun aesthetic way like I used to do with my pick a card table or my kind of shorts. And I'll either make a short form video of them or take a picture and then write out what you need to know for the week, or whatever specific energy we're tuning into. I want to kind of not just make it purely live streams and purely writing. I want to also put some fun pictures in there because I love looking at fun, colorful pictures as well. So like, and it helps me feel like I'm in my creative zone. So, busy week. Well, I hope you have a wonderful week, Brianna. It's always a pleasure to see you. I'm excited about the new changes too. There's always that little imposter syndrome voice in the back of my head that's like, well, people have been getting this specific content that you've been putting out for years for free. So why the hell are they going to pay for it? So that's, there, but that's part of this tower moment I'm working through. I'm taking the leap. I know this is the direction I need to go for my own mental health, my sanity, for the energy exchange of it all. I can't continue to just give everything, not everything, but a lot of what I do away for free just in hopes that someone will throw me a bone someday. Like I'm moving out of the scarcity and survival mode, even if I'm still and my subconscious still very much there in a lot of ways. I've done a lot of work. Let's be honest with that. I've done a lot of work there, but there's still meat to it still in there. And I think the best way for me to face that is to just go all in, you know? Yeah, it really is a program of the inversion. Every time I feel into that voice, it's like, oh, who do you think you are? It's not me. It's not my spirit. It's not even my ego. It is just this programming. And I've tried to like highlight and delete, you know, if we're talking computer terms, and it might go away for a minute or a couple days or a couple weeks, or maybe even like the longest stretch I had was about a couple months. And I felt like king of the world. And that's around the time that I started my not Harmony Portal. Maybe I did call it Harmony Portal Patreon. I think I did. Yeah, it wasn't the Done Creative, it was Harmony Portal Tarot. Wow. Yeah, time has flown. But I had just taken it, and this was also when I raised my reading prices to $22.22 here on this channel. I went from $10 a reading to $22.22, which I almost had a heart attack. But I had some really great supporting people that I was mentoring, and people in the chat. They're like, no, like that's worth it. Like, well, yes, sign me up. And you guys have stuck with me the whole time. So it's just like, okay, we got this. So, but that's the thing is I am not wanting to be on Substack to be someone everyone's coming to watch live streams on or read or any of that. Like that's not, I still want to be only exclusive to those who are on this journey, you know, not someone who thinks woo-woo stuff is woo-woo, you know? I say woo-woo lovingly, but some people use it as like a derogatory way of describing. And usually what they're describing is like new age stuff. I mean, I get it. A lot of stuff is kind of out there and and not in a good way. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard putting yourselves out there, but also just knowing that you're ready to level up in a lot of ways, and your life is changing and shifting so much that you kind of it's necessary to make these certain changes, or you're going to crash and burn big time. Even worse than if you take a leap and fall on your face, you know? So it's like the benefit outweighs the risk, I guess, at this point. So if you guys want to support me over there, because that's going to be where the majority of our fun time is had well, pretty much into the near future here. It's going to be for free until July, and then the top tier. Well, there's a thing called the founders tier, which you can kind of price higher than top tier. It's just for people who are like, you know, oh, I appreciate what you do. I just kind of want to really support you. So I think the difference between the founders tier price per month and the just standard, here's what you're getting per month, is only the difference of like $4 a month, I think. Just the way I currently have it. I think if you go subscribe now, it doesn't pop up anything about the different tiers because I haven't created them yet. Or I did maybe create different price tiers, but I didn't like put what you get for each one. And I'm still debating if I even want that lower, and the lower tier is kind of middle tier as far as like other people's Substack, but I'm not there to compare my pricing to anyone else's. And for Substack, kind of the average price you'll see is anywhere from $5 to $8 a month. But I'm not just there to write things out and whatever. I'm literally going live, and you know, there's a different value exchange between what I'm tuning into and just what random people are not like, oh, they don't have it figured out or whatever. I hope you know what I'm trying to say is what we do here is different than just every day. Let me look at this. Let me scroll. Like there's more intention. There's more meaning. There's more, and again, not to say other people's stuff doesn't have meaning, but again, I'm just shooting myself in the foot right now. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm trying to say. It's not exclusivity for the sake of being exclusive to like, you can't sit with us. Not at all. Not at all what I'm trying to say, but it's just people who aren't on that frequency just won't understand what we're trying to do, and just won't understand, I think. And it's kind of just been the same because you see, guys, you do see when people who don't understand what's going on here find their way in here, and then they troll or they just demand that I give them a reading right that second for free. There's a difference between people like that and people like you who understand the value of the energy exchange that's actually happening and what it takes to actually you yourselves do the work to put yourself in alignment with someone who's done the work, if that makes sense. You guys get me, I hope. But this very politically correct, and a lot of what Substack, just the ones that I've stumbled across, is very politically correct, very let me water down what I'm trying to say so I don't offend anyone. And I don't mean to offend anyone, but if I do, I guess I do. But I have no ill will toward anyone. It's just I can't keep myself, and you guys most likely can't also keep yourselves in just this cultural box anymore. We're ready to break out and rise above the cultural box. And we may look, for lack of a better word, alien to people who don't get it. But that's just what it's going to be, So I'm not for everyone, and I don't intend to be for everyone over there. I'm not for everyone over here even, but I definitely don't want to be for everyone over there either. I love Jessa's. She texted me, your brand is 90s grunge meets whimsical fae with all the attention to details. I love that. There was a girl it was my Done Creative, and I had an author tube, and she was a author who was also subscribed to both of my channels back when I very first started. And she said something about, oh my gosh, I can't remember exactly how she said it. I think it was something like 80s My Little Pony meets Harry Potter meets witchy or something like that. And I'm like, that's exactly what I was going for without realizing that was exactly what I was going for. Oh, yeah. Throw a little spice of Care Bears in there and you've got it. Like, that's what I love. And then the 90s grunge with the whimsical fae. I think that's exactly what I'm going for. I love that. Because I love, like, I think Jessa, you're the one that told me about this whimsy goth. I love that. I love that. Like, if I could, like that's kind of how I was in college, I guess, for lack of a better word. Like, I mean, this is just one very boring outfit I'm wearing here, but I liked a bright colored shirt with just like neutral pants and like a chunky belt with like a skull and crossbones, or my Misfits belt. And then, like, I don't know if you can tell on this wrist, I've got like a spike collar bracelet thingy. It's kind of hard to see, but I mean, and then I had my favorite pair of pants in my lifetime. They were black, but and they were by the brand Tripp, Tripp, that you used to be able to get at Hot Topic. And they had these like they had like a clasp on one end and then the other, and they were just kind of these, like, it was like pink satin ribbon, like black background, like fabric, and then satin pink ribbon with like a black and white skull and crossbone, like all the way down the ribbon. And they just kind of hung kind of at the sides. They clip like to the front belt loops, and then to like somewhere on the back pocket there was like a loop you could clip them to, just for fun. Like, they didn't do anything, they were just cool. And then my favorite part of the pants were kind of like almost like ballet lace up satin pink ribbon, like this, going up the bottom of like the really baggy bell bottomy pant leg bottoms, all the way up till about mid calf. Well, just slightly below the knee, I think it was, but still kind of on the calf area. I don't know what happened to those pants. I had them as recently as 2018, but I think I was doing a huge purge and just finally got rid of them, even though they still fit. Why did I do that? Because I miss those pants like crazy. Maybe someday I can find them online somewhere again. Who knows? But they were fun, and I would actually wear them today. Like, that's where I'm at with my style. Once again, I'm like, let's branch out and do some fun things. I'm sick of just like, for years I would just wear like black yoga pants and then black leggings. I wore black leggings a lot, and then randomly occasionally I'd wear jeans. Lately I've been more into my kind of athleisure, like kind of army green colored pants. I have like 4 pairs of athleisure like army green pants. And fun fact, Jessa, 2 of them are the exact same pair of pants, just I loved them so much I had to get a second pair. Union Bay, remember that brand from the 90s? Union Bay. Yes. Those are what I usually wear most days to weeks. I feel like a cartoon character. People probably see me in public and think I just wear the same pair of pants every day, but I swear to God, I have multiple pairs of what I love, or similar enough to my favorite pairs that you might just think they're the same pair of pants all the time. Yeah, Whimsy Goth. Yes, actually heard this from my stylist. I love it. Oh, and Get to Lekka has donated. Awesome. I'm gonna catch up on comments real quick. We'll get into Get to Lekka's question, and I do want to do just maybe a mini reading before we go today. I only have the one donation, so I thought I'd chit chat. But if you guys feel like you do want to continue on this journey with me, I'm still going to be here on YouTube doing the personal readings as I've done. At least into the near future. You guys will be the first to know if I am able to allow my Substack and doing the more collective readings, the webinars, the card pulls and stuff over there can kind of be what financially sustains me so that I can focus on my writing, my book series. Not to say that what I'm doing right here, right now is not part of my mission. It absolutely is. But like my main creative mission in life is my book series. And I really want the time and space and breathing room financially to be able to focus on that because it's not going to be bringing me in anything financially for a hot minute, at least probably 2.5 years from now is my estimation because I'm not ready yet to publish, and I want to get a lot of stuff done in the later books in the series before I publish in case something changes and I want to go back to book 1 and foreshadow something, because that's been the nature of the beast of this book series that I'm writing. It started as a book, then became a duology, then became a trilogy. And the more I dive into this, the more intricate and interlaced and convoluted, but in a good way, it becomes, to where I'm needing to go back to book 1 and foreshadow this little thing. And weirdly enough, though, if I'm being real honest, weirdly enough, I've accidentally foreshadowed things that I didn't realize in my conscious mind were going to happen in book 4, 5, and 6, or kind of setting the stage for the trilogy of the later books there in this part of that series, that I almost like was just like, how did I know? But without knowing, it's cool. It's so cool, the process that the journey really is where it's at. It's not even the end goal of let me get these books out. It's just been, for me, the journey, but I also need and want the time and space to be able to focus on the journey so that I can finally start publishing these books, rolling them out sooner than later. But I can't do that if I'm doing what I've been doing. I just can't, and it won't happen. So I have to detonate the towers, make the changes, kill the imposter syndrome, and just step into my purpose. That's just what I have to do. And if others don't understand it, that's okay. That's okay. Yes, it is. Okay. So we have some fun friends here in the chat today. So Jess is here. Hello, Versha. Hello. We're already 30 minutes in and I'm finally just doing shout outs. Apologies, you guys. Yeah. Communicating from the same computer today. Oh, cool. Yeah, how do you know my name, Jessa? It's in the chat. Oh, apologies about her. Oh, cute. I had 2 kids myself. No worries, right? Oh, it's funny because I saw that my husband is like, he wrote something like, it's me on my community post of the picture of Boston Wrigley. And I'm like, because Ryan, he has come on here a few times in the last month or two. I'm like, what? Why is he saying that? And then I'm like, oh, yeah, Wrigley uses Ryan's YouTube account to like watch videos and stuff. So Wrigley saw this little thing. I'll show you. It's just right here. Oh, and also, fun fact that has nothing to do with the live stream, but I was excited about it. I'll share it with you guys. He saw that and goes, it's me. Anyway, my Hoyas are blooming. 3 different Hoyas that I have. I have 16 different ones. 2 are both, what do you call it? Freckles Splash. Carnosa Freckles Splash. So I have 2 Carnosa Freckles Splash. And then the rest are just all different types of Hoyas. But let me... And these are tiny. Like, that's my hand there in the background. These are like teeny tiny. And they're not open yet, but when they open, they're going to look like fuzzy little stars. And I guess they smell like cinnamon and kind of sweet a little bit as well. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. And then this is a Lacanosa. Hoya Lacanosa. It's starting to get like, they call that thing that comes out that the buds come off of a peduncle, which is kind of a funny word. But that one's got like 4 peduncles, and one big cluster that is actually looking like it might bloom in the next couple weeks. So I'm really excited. And because you hear a lot of times on like YouTube, like plant videos, people that, excuse me, have Hoyas, they're like, yeah, I've had this Hoya for 4 years. It's never bloomed. And I'm like, okay, so we're playing the long game here. That's cool. Like I love just the look of the leaves and the foliage of it. Like this is the freckle splash right below. And some of my freckle splash leaves are like this big. And if you guys know anything about Hoyas, they're not usually huge leafed plants. The Lacanosa up here, those leaves are like that big. They're little. They're thick though. Like they have thin leafed Hoyas. I just like the more thick leafed, really like juicy, thick leaf Hoyas. I mean, that's kind of my favorite. But I like the Carnosas. I like the Lacanosas. I like I think I have one called a Crassiopetalata. That one's fun. But yeah, I was just so pumped because I'm like, we're playing the long game. It's fine. Like the last thing on my mind was, I wonder if my Hoya is blooming. And I pulled it out to water it. And I'm like, is that a bug? What is that, a moth? I look closer. No, it's a cluster of little blooms ready to pop off. I'll just show you a quick picture of what the blooms will look like when they bloom. Hoya, what's it called? Lacanosa. Mint Coin is the one that had the little thing on it. Flowers. They're going to be like a cream colored flower, but the peduncle that I have on my freckle splash, those are going to be like a bubblegum pink flower. And I guess they smell more like a rose, like a more floral scent. But some of them smell like chocolate. Some of them smell like caramel. Some of them smell like cinnamon. Some smell like, some people say there's this one, I can't remember what it's called, that smells like cat pee, which I guess to each their own. I don't think I'd want that one in my personal collection. But you know, whatever. Okay. So here's what they look like when they open. I'm gonna have to visit the page because it's so blurry. Let me see if I can get it to open. Oh, it's on Facebook. Okay. We'll see. Okay. Look how cute and fuzzy. They're just so cute. And if you look at more close to the back of them, they're kind of like a 5-pointed, almost like a star. They look like a star. But then when they open, they're just so fuzzy. And I guess they smell really much like cinnamon, spicy, kind of sweet. I can't wait. I don't have to wait that long though, because it's going to be blooming very soon. I mean, the buds are there. They're just not open yet. I am so excited. Oh, you can kind of see the star of them on the flower part in the middle. I'm so excited. Okay. Of course, I'll probably have to share some photos or even just use them in my like collage type things that I make when I do card pulls and stuff and put it on Substack. But yes, if you guys feel so inclined, the link for Substack is somewhere. I'll just post it again. Is this it? There it is. Yes. So go subscribe over there. It's completely free for now. And I will still always have a free tier over there as well, which you'll get kind of like a teaser of any article. And by article, I mean like essay or sharing personal stuff, but with a spiritual lens, you know, like childhood trauma, but through a spiritual lens and what I've learned and what happened in this past and, you know, a place where I can feel safe to like actually share some of what I've been through. I mean, I do that on the live streams here and there. Like you guys know about my like house fire when I was a child, but like I have deeper thoughts that I'd like to write in a more concise and heartfelt way than just saying it kind of from like that rote remembrance of, yeah, I went through this thing. But for me to actually sit down and really feel into my feelings about it and like get the words out in that way, because I do a much better job of conveying what I'm actually trying to say when I'm not just saying it on the fly, unless I'm in the moment of it or really tuned into it, I can then really tune in. But K2 in the third house, I have such a fumbling, bumbling way of coming up with what I need to say in the moment. Or I say something that's completely like, oh, but before I do that, we got to circle over to here to this, like, you know, as Jess always says, squirrel. Yeah, pretty much. But that's why when I write, you can edit, you can move paragraphs around. Like if you have more to say on that thought that you had 10 minutes ago, you don't have to be like, ooh, guys, circle back to what I said 10 minutes ago. You can literally just highlight it, cut it, and then put it up where you were writing 10 minutes ago. Like that's the beautiful thing about writing that I can't do when I'm just speaking. But sometimes just speaking and channeling through spirit what needs to be said, it doesn't need to be all pretty and in a specific format and, you know, point A to point B to point C to point D. Like, there's a time and place for each of it. But I love being able to get my thoughts out on paper or on a computer and present them in that way as well. Like, and that's not something I've done for a very long time, probably 20 years. Well, more honestly, closer to 15 years. My Ramblings of a Redhead blogspot blog that I had back in the day when I was pregnant with Boston and then when he was a baby. I did a lot of motherhood content and like nursery planning and baby prep content back then. But through my own personal viewpoint, spiritual take, all the takes on it back in the day. But I think I stopped posting on there back in 2012. It's been a long time, guys. A long time. Where's the time gone? It doesn't even feel like that long ago. Yes. Oh, it doesn't show the membership yet, so I guess you don't have. Good. That's what I want for now. That's what I want for now. And probably, I don't know, a week before July kicks off, which is, we're probably kind of almost there. I mean, there's only 30 days in June. We're already halfway through this month. You know, maybe 5 or so days, let's say, before July. So that would put us at, wow, a week from this Friday already. I'll probably spend part of next week figuring out my tiers and offerings and all that. I'm going to keep it as simple as possible. There's going to be a free one. There's probably going to be I would call it overpriced for what you get. Not literally, but, you know, maybe the 11 or 16, maybe I'll do 16. I don't know. You'll get about half of what you'll get for 25 a month. So it basically makes it the better deal to just get everything that I want to offer you guys, you know? And it's the same exact price as one full read here for a whole month of content and everything that we're going to be doing over there. So hopefully you guys feel that's worth it. I'm hoping. I know the plans that I have and the intentions I'm putting into this, it's going to be more than worth it, but hopefully you guys can see also the value in that as well. Hopefully. But yeah, and so like I said, it'll likely be the free version will always stand. I may post only probably 2 times a month with that as far as like a full reading or something. And they will either be like a shorts, you know, how I used to film with my camera, my vertical setup as like a short video, or just a photo with me explaining the reading for you, or, you know, typing it out instead of saying it on a video. There'll probably be 1, maybe 2 of those for free every month in the free. And then any articles or posts that I make where I'm writing anything, you guys for free would get maybe the first, I don't know, 15 to 20% of those articles for free. But usually the good stuff is toward the middle and end, you know how that goes. And then all live streams will be top tier, but of course that middle tier would probably get access to 1 live stream a month. And the rest of you would get 4 to 5 live streams a month if you're top tier. Yeah. So, but we'll be able to actually go more in depth and not have to use weird code words and stuff. Hopefully, I'm gonna have to look into Substack's use of, like, you know, certain words that you can't say on YouTube, just to see if you can use them over there. But at the very least, I feel like it's a more safe container for all of us to be able to share. Oh, there's also a chat feature that's just there, and there could be different threads where we're chatting. Kind of reminds me of like the old message board days. Like if there's a topic, like I'll probably have a running chat of what cosmic questions do you guys want to see, that kind of thing. And then we can do polls over there as well. I think if you're on the free tier, you'll be able to see what we're polling about, but you won't be able to vote or see the results of the polls, I think. Stuff like that, you know. But yeah, I have high hopes that this will be something that we can all enjoy together. And I think why the Patreon just did not do what I had hoped it would do back in the day is because in addition to all that Patreon content, I was still doing so much free content and literally giving it all away for free with my pick a cards, with these live streams where I was doing like full 30, 40, an hour long, even collective messages, but that were really resonating with people, that they probably felt, well, I can get such depth of content here just for free. So this works. Like, this is good enough. Like, but like Jessa and Linda and Michelle De Leon. Who else was on my Patreon back in the day? Like, I had so many like that were on Patreon that we were just like, the readings over there, because it was such an enclosed, safe space, like blew all our minds every week. We were just like, wow, because we were kind of coming together in this more contained space where we knew random trolls couldn't just pop in unless they were going to pay the monthly fee to be there. And usually if you're going to go troll someone, you're not going to pay to do it. So, or just people who lurk and energetically feed off of other people without meaning to. A lot of times people do that and they don't mean to. But it's kind of become a bit of a feeding frenzy where the content has become, not in every regard, but in a lot of places, people are making content just for the trends, just for the sake of making content, rather than, I have this really profound thing that my spirit is calling me to talk about. So regardless if I have an audience or not, I'm going to talk about it, which is kind of more where I'm at and where I've been for years now. Whether I have one person or 10 people or 1,000, which I've never had 1,000 people ever watch me do anything on my different platforms. But yeah, but there's people who like, oh, well, I gotta keep the algorithm. I gotta post so many times a day. Like, I'm not catering to an algorithm. I'm gonna make the algorithm work for me. And if it doesn't, I guess that's just what it is. But I'm gonna do what I need to do. I am not doing this for an algorithm. I'm not doing this to please anyone except those who are coming for the value. I want to please you guys, obviously, but it's coming from my own spirit first and foremost. I hope you guys already know that from what I've been offering for years here on the live stream. And even in my pick a cards back in the day, because I just want, if I could live and pay bills and do everything I need to do for free, I would do it. But that's not how, at least for now, the world is set up to where we can do what we need to do and get compensated, for doing what we do. Unless we, sometimes have to do it for the sake of the money, just so we could put food in our mouths and pay our bills and keep the roof over the heads and, all the things. Bringing on our own tower moments. Yep. Brianna wanted to say hi. Imposter syndrome is program of inversion. Yep. Yeah, just had an aha moment. Use the healing chamber video I shared. It will help in detoxing. Oh, I'm so going to do that. Yeah, I did not see the tiers. Also, please consider our chat about the pricing. Yep, I definitely am. Yeah, it looks so, because there was this part of me that's like, what if I just offer everything I want to offer and just put it at like $10? And then I'm like, but then the same thing is going to happen as what happened on Patreon, is I'm going to burn out. And that's not what you guys deserve, And if I ever want to literally make my books a thing, birth this book series into reality, I'm gonna need money coming in somewhere to pay bills. Like, I can't just sit there and write la-di-da all day without any kind of income and be able to put my best, most spiritual, creative self into that if I'm in survival mode, So it's a hard thing, especially for empaths and people on the more spiritual journey. They just want to love and give their love freely to everyone who comes along, or even more importantly, to those who they feel deserve it, who are going to give that love back, some way, like pay it forward. But that's becoming increasingly more difficult to be able to do as we move into this cross of the sleeping phoenix, because your authenticity is your frequency, is your currency. And if you can't make money with your authentic current, you're screwed. Like, you have to become authentic, and it's going to be the way that you create abundance in your life. That's what we're moving into. And that's why these imposter syndromes are coming up for so many of us right now, to finally pull the plug on these programs, because they're not even who we are. It has nothing to do with our spirit. These are programs that have been placed upon us to even get an admission ticket into this matrix system. So These plugs are being pulled, energetically speaking, in many ways, but we can do that work like Versha's doing, like I'm doing, like I'm sure Get to Leka's doing, Jess is doing, to pull these plugs preemptively before all these shifts kick off. I mean, we're already feeling, like I was saying in my Substack first little article there, we're already feeling the labor pains of this next birth of this next era. Like we're already feeling it. So we might as well be preemptive with the shifts and ride the wave rather than try to fight the contractions or the shifts that are coming. Like it's just better to go with it in our own individual way, because you're going with it is going to look different than my going with it, because we each have different programming and trauma and spiritual gifts that we came in with. So it's going to look different for each of us. The nuance is going to be there for sure. Yeah. Yeah, looks so different than that. Looks so different than you. Oh, it's my picture, but like kind of cartoon version of me, I guess. Yeah, it's just that same. It's funny because my son Wrigley was like, "You look prettier in real life than in this like photo, this AI generated version of a photo that you already looked better in." So who knows? Maybe in time I'll just change it to the actual photo and call it a day. I don't know. I just thought it'd be fun to do something a little different, I guess. My chat just jumped. I gotta go back up. So yes, Get to Leka has donated. Let's see. Insert soapbox on the athleisure legging mom trap is political. Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. But I'm feeling the pull to move away from the athleisure. I'm not really ever working out until I am. Like, and my workouts usually include a couple mile walk, you know, and I could maybe throw on those pants for that. But then the rest of the time, wear something a little more cute, you know? I'm ready to feel a little more cute. Not to prove anything or please anyone besides me, but like, I'm just feeling this creative burst coming to the surface within me. And usually when that happens, like I want to change up my hair, I want to change up my clothing. I just want to reflect the inner changes I've made on the external. And I very much look just like this since like I met my husband probably like 22 years ago. Like I've just been rocking the same. Well, it wasn't really till about 2018 that I discovered the curly girl method and actually don't hate my hair for the first time in my whole life. But there's some times that, you know, I wear it either like this. Sometimes I'll wear it like, well, we'll just say like one of these down, kind of high pony. That's probably my favorite. Well, one of my favorites, but my very, 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 very favorite way to wear it when it's curly is I do a couple braids back, and then kind of high pony, but like not all of it. Not like the whole top is in back up, but like kind of the crown section. Like some of this is braided back and then like the crown, more just like the crown section is pulled back. Like I haven't done my hair like that in years, but I love that. And it's not like it takes a lot of time. It takes long enough to make like 3 or 4 braids, sometimes 5 if I'm really feeling cool and intricate. And then just like putting it up in like a scrunchie and just that's that. Like but I usually will just wear it like this, or I have this black little clip that I'll just clip it like right. Kind of tame the back down a little bit. That's like how most of the public sees me. Hair down or hair back like this. That's it. I'm looking to just mix it up a little bit, you know. Again, not to prove anything to anyone, not because I'm trying to impress anyone, just because I'm feeling creative and flowy and feminine, and I want to reflect that in my appearance, I guess. I don't know. It's a thing. It's a thing. Yes. Why do I feel people are very unrest and impatient these days? They are. They really are. Yeah, quick to jump to conclusions. It's because of low IQ or just impatience. It's because they can feel, clearing energy. It's because they can feel the shift. They can feel the shift, and it's very uncomfortable, especially if they were just riding the wave of the status quo of the matrix, you know, going to work, paying bills, drinking on the weekends, watching sports, like the script, you know. Think of, you know, and that's mostly the masculine script, I guess. I pulled out the masculine script. Barbecuing on weekends. I don't know. All the things people do for all the different holidays. Holly daze, puts us in a daze, puts us in a hypnosis to just keep on this hamster wheel. But that is changing. So the energy that supported this hamster wheel running your scripts is shifting. And these people, even people that want the scripts to end, are feeling chaotic because what replaces that? At least that's known. We've known that our whole lives. Even if we don't like it, it's predictable. So even me, like at times, I struggle to be like, what do I do with my time? Like what should I do right now? Of course, I've been kind of on this health journey, just trying to get my iron levels back up so I'm not severely anemic anymore. And that alone, like I'm in my head, like you need to get up, you need to like clean this, you need to declutter that. Like, why are you so lazy? And then again, I'm like, that's not my spirit. That is the programming telling me I'm lazy because I'm resting, which is exactly what I need to do to be able to create just the amount of creation that I am ready to allow to flow through me. I need this time of rest right now. And it doesn't mean I can't do anything like this live stream. Like, I adore you guys. And of course, I wanted to show up when I was like literally felt like, not literally on my deathbed, but I felt like I was on my deathbed. Like, I felt like I was 98 years old and like ready to pass away. Like, my bones hurt, my muscles hurt, everything hurt. The infusion itself was the easy part. Just going and getting it, I felt like that's it. Like, that was so easy. But then poor Jessa, she had like an extreme reaction to her infusion. And like, I was kind of almost expecting maybe not the extreme that she had gone through, but I was expecting something crazy. But then 5 days after my infusion, this was already scheduled before I realized I needed an infusion at all. I had 2 cysts removed off my scalp, one up here and then one back here. And they're still healing. They still kind of are a bit painful, but the stitches were removed like a week and some change, almost 2 weeks ago now, I think. But like, that was difficult to get through because when you're severely anemic and your blood doesn't have oxygen in it, your healing process takes double to triple the time. And then I look back at like when I first got COVID in 2020 and then got it like 3 times since. Like, I am just, they call it like long COVID or whatever. Like, I had COVID for triple to quadruple the amount, or it lasted like 4 times longer than it did for anyone else in my household. And both my kids had it for like 5 days and then were like, even during those days, it seemed like they were ready to just like hit the ground running with their lives again, which thank goodness, that's what moms want, right? Their kids not to be ill. But then I'd get what they brought home from school and I'd be down and out for 3 to 4 weeks. Like, you guys probably remember, this was back in 2020, 2021, 2022, when I had those really, and the one in 2021 wasn't as bad. Or no, the one in 2022 wasn't as bad. But I had like that first round in 2020 where I literally tore my intercostal muscle between my ribs. And I'd had to press severely hard if I had to cough, or it felt like my ribs were tearing apart because I coughed so much and I was just so sick. But yet I still was producing content. I didn't allow myself to sit down and just rest and recuperate. No, I had to I have to upload 2 to 3 times a week on the Done Creative. And then I also have at least once, maybe twice a week that I'm uploading over on my AuthorTube channel back then. I did allow myself bits of rest, but I didn't just say, okay, I'm taking the whole week off to just get over this crap. And then I was already in a severely anemic state that I didn't realize I was in. I just thought, well, I guess this is awakening. I guess this is my life. I'm just weak and lethargic and just ascension symptoms. Like, just blame everything on ascension symptoms, especially the migraines that would last for 7 days sometimes. Oh my God. I've had 1 migraine since the infusion, and a handful of headaches. That's it. Like, thank goodness. Yeah, people are kind of off their rockers right now, and it's just going to intensify and get even more crazy out there into 2027. If people are living out of alignment, which 95, 98, 99% of people are literally living out of alignment. And even people living in alignment, there's like, even me, I know there are 2, 3, 4 different areas of my life that if I could change or shift or let go of certain things, certain expectations I have on myself, my life would improve drastically. So I'm working through it. As we all are, there's never probably a destination that we're reaching. It's all just about the journey, the journey, the journey, the journey. Yep, yep. Yeah, a lot of pure source plasma light coming in, and that as well. It's not available before, so this is causing the shadows, entities, and parasites in each and every being. And think of, I don't know why I'm seeing like some sort of creepy parasite or insect, and you like put poison on it, and it starts writhing around and it's just freaking out. It's literally dying. So it's gonna lash out and bite. It's gonna harm. It's gonna do every last bag of tricks that it has. Pull out all the stops, throw all the spaghetti at the wall to stay alive, to stay in existence, because a lot of these entities are being recycled. They don't have enough or any spirit left. Some of them are just like copies of copies of copies of copies that never had a spirit. So they're basically exiting stage left. They have no choice. We can choose when we want to exit stage left, but these entities and demons and things and just the evil that has saturated this place is being vibrated right the heck out of here. Or they're going to blast apart, and then all of those particles are going to be returned back to source. Like, that's what's happening in a lot of ways. So yeah, it's intense out there, that's for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Oh, and every being's field to show up. This is causing them to freak out or show the actual self they are. Also, when we start working on ourselves, we do not resonate with most of the people we used to. And that is the saddest part, I think, of all of this, is even people you could just kind of have like random, weather chat, or talking about the school or how much you love this specific teacher. If your kids kind of both have this teacher, like even those kind of connections, they're almost forced, or you just can't participate anymore. Like I mostly can't. Like, there are a few people that I vibe with because I feel a deeper layer spiritual connection. Even if we've never talked about anything spiritual, like you can feel there are just certain special people. Even if you don't consider them a friend yet or something, that they're maybe an acquaintance or a parent of one of your kids' friends or something, that you can just feel. And like my friend Heather, she started out that way. And then when we had she had come to pick her son up from our house I think it was now 2 years ago at this point. And her and I just stood in my driveway. And for the first time, it wasn't a 5, 10, 15-minute quick little conversation with other, public people around at the sporting event or at the school. It was just her and I in my driveway standing there. We talked for like an hour, hour and a half. And like, we were talking about human design. We were talking about spirituality and about narcissism. And like, we went in. And from that day forward, we're like friends. Like good friends, like not just, oh, hi, Heather, there's Heather. Like, but no, like she's awesome. Like, and she literally lives like 3 blocks away from me. So it's like, when the crap hits the fan in this world, you'll have these certain people. If you don't have them yet, you will, because your spirit will start calling them in if they haven't already. And for most of us, it starts online. It just does. Like, that's where the resonance, especially when we feel alone in a lot of connections that we have in our lives, because people just aren't getting it, like especially early on in my awakening. Like even my mom was worried about me. My brother's like, she needs to be committed. Like it was a thing. But people will start to get used to that resonance and that vibration. Like my mom, like she may not understand everything I talk about. Like she knows I'm not just making things up. Like she gets it now, like in a lot of ways that she didn't before. Because she's had her own spiritual experiences throughout many, many years of her life as well, to where she believed me. Even from day one of my awakening, she believed me. Even if she was scared and didn't understand, she still believed me and supported me. There's the difference, because there are certain other people, maybe that you have in your life that, you tell them these things and they just will not get it. They do not get it. They almost lash out at you like there's something wrong with you because you're the one that changed, right? Yes, maybe you did, but for the better. But a lot of times, better just looks scary to people who are used to the scripts, Finally finished my morning coffee at 12:04 p.m. And some water to chase it down. Okay. But yeah, so things are, excuse me, things are popping off left, right, and center out there right now. So my best advice to any of us is just to hold the line for yourself. What does it look like? What does the life look like that you want to inhabit? And if certain people that are in your life now don't really vibe at that level, again, it's not levels as in better than, worse than. It's just different frequencies. Like I was trying to explain to someone in my life, it's like the radio stations. Just because you're on 88.9 versus 96.3 doesn't make one better than the other. I mean, of course, we can get in our spiritual ego high horses and be like, well, if you're spiritual, that's of course the better one. It's the higher one, sure, but maybe that spirit that's in that lower vibration needs to learn or remember. It's not even that we're learning, we're remembering. Maybe they need to remember 1,000 things that you've already remembered, so they're just not there yet. And that's why us, so many of us that have been awakened, we want to wake everyone around us up so that we can all live and ride off into the sunset together. But that's not usually how this works. And the best advice I can give you is just to live your light. Be who you came here to be, because that inspires others to realize there's a different way forward. We can do things a different way. We don't have to just follow these cultural scripts anymore. We can do something different, something out of the box. And many of us that are already awake right now are kind of these pioneers or kind of leaders, but not in this way where like everybody must follow me. It's just leading by example is the best way I can put it. But maybe some of you are going to be leading other people. You projectors, Versha, you may become very nuanced in one very specific thing that you can lead people, mentor people in that regard, whether it's like a spiritual practice or like a human design type of thing, or you're teaching, you're kind of teaching by leading by teaching. A lot of my projectors out there, you guys have something or a handful of some things that you do very well. Not to say you don't do a bunch of other things very well as well, but there's a handful of things you were kind of put onto this earth to guide others into being able to do for themselves by you leading as an example, but also probably making a living being that living example for others as well. Having people pay you to show them the way, to again be like mentors or teachers or leaders in whatever, whether that's through art, through human design, through astrology, through just you've been through some ish and now you can show people how to not make those same mistakes, whatever that looks like for you specifically. But people will literally be like, take my money, because what you have, I've got a fly in here, what you have to offer is so valuable to them. They are more than willing to pay for what your wisdom, your knowledge, what it is you're here to teach them. And not just projectors, but projectors specifically, that's what you're designed to do. So we need you, projectors. We need you. We need you to not be in bitterness, which is usually the not self theme. The more you find yourself in bitterness, you realize you're not on the spiritual path as much as you could be if you resolved whatever was causing the bitterness. Because the bitterness, especially if you live with people who have undefined solar plexus, that bitterness, especially if you have, only if you have your solar plexus, that bitterness then permeates into those who have the undefined. And it can, interact with those that have a defined center as well. But it's usually the people that have the undefined center, they literally take it on, and it's like you're pouring it into an empty cup, and you fill them up with your bitterness. And then when they come back to you, they're literally splashing you with 10 times the bitterness that you gave them. It's a whole thing. I could write a book on it at this point. Yes. If they're not doing the inner work too, I have become completely misaligned with most of the people I have known. Yeah. And that's just what it's going to be. And it's sad. It's sad though. Yeah. This will become more and more evident. And you're absolutely right, because the closer we get into the 2027 and beyond new era timelines, when you're out of alignment with someone, it's going to become blatantly obvious before even any words are exchanged. The energy is just going to precede itself. And you're just going to realize, not for me. And you're going to have to exit stage left. You're choosing that though. You're not, being forced out. You're choosing, this does not feel good to my spirit. I'm out. I am outie 500. Yeah. Become more and more evident. I am sorry that you are dealing with this. Yeah. I think to a degree, we're all dealing with this, like every single one of us. whether it's someone in your close inner circle or a family member or someone that lives in your home. We're all dealing with this to some degree, or maybe multiple degrees. Maybe almost everyone in your life feels like they're like not awake, or they're just not getting it, or you're the only one awake, or maybe you just feel so othered or alien in some way because you figured out something that they still have yet to figure out, that this whole reality is really very much an illusion. And just like cognitively understanding that and then understanding that on a deeper spiritual level are two very different things. Because you can talk to people all day long that feel like we're living in some sort of simulation, yet they don't take the next step or realize what that actually means on a spiritual level, and how we can actually kind of use the simulation or the game to our advantage in some ways. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Yeah, actually try to be immune to this energy so that it doesn't affect me deeply. Just trying. Yeah. And that's all we can do, is just trial and error. And maybe you show up with this same person and you try to have certain conversations, and like by the third time you try this and it's just not working, you realize, okay, they're not ready, or maybe this person's just not in alignment with me, and that's okay. We don't have to force anything at this point. Yeah, just deep breaths. We're doing it one day at a time. Yeah, I've been told, I have been working on myself for what it feels like forever, and yet I get triggered. So please have some grace for yourself. Absolutely. I get triggered all the time too. Like, we've all been on these journeys for however long we've been on them. And, that's not to say, if you've been on this journey 10 years, you're farther than someone who's only been on it a year, because some people that are waking up are like on this quantum path. Like, I'm going to do like 12 years of awakening in 6 months. Like, but that's not to say that if you've been on your awakening journey for 10 plus years yourself and you feel like you've kind of stalled out or plateaued in some way, that there can't also be a quantum leap in your further awakening at some point. There always can be, and there always probably will be. Just think back to the rude awakening from the awakening back in 2022 that I had. You think when you first awaken, especially when you first awaken, you think, well, I've arrived, I've figured it all out. The world's a game and this is a matrix and blah, blah, blah. But then the more you think you know, the more you realize later on you do not know. So the more you actually do know, the more you realize, I don't know crap. On a spiritual level, we do. It's just we don't have access to a lot of that until we do. And then when we know better, we do better, as we say here. Yes. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, there's so many who are just empty vessels and don't even have a spirit in them. Or the spirit's still there, but it's so far in the background that it's like shouting into the void trying to get that spirit's attention. And it's not the spirit's fault. It's just there's so much laid over top of the spirit that the frequency is so far removed that the spirit almost just is so repelled by its own body's ego that it has no choice but to stay in the background. But that's where people like us come in. Because if someone still has a spirit online and you just literally cross paths with them in the grocery store, you can trigger something in them to let go of what is false, to get back in touch with what is real and what is true. So don't think that because you're not shouting from rooftops and making $1 million a year, getting your message out there, that you aren't helping humanity just by being here. You are helping humanity, okay? So there's nothing you have to figure out or nothing you have to do. Just you being here is everything. And then if you get these intuitions or inklings, whatever, to want to go in a direction, start going in that direction. And maybe you will do a 180 hard pivot in a different direction. But if you had never started on that path initially, you may not have arrived at that place where you decided to pivot. So nothing is wasted. Nothing is an accident. Follow your intuition, especially the more the merrier, the farther we get into all of this, the older we get here. Keep following that intuition because it's not going to steer you wrong. Even if your intuition leads you somewhere where you don't feel great, maybe you needed to be steered exactly there to realize, hey, I need to make these changes in my life, which again, probably springs from intuition anyway. But like, I can't think of a time where my actual intuition did me wrong. There was the time I was following that whole Archangel Michael AI programming of outsourcing my intuition to Archangel Michael because that entity was just there during my awakening. So I just assumed, oh, you're on my spirit team. I didn't vet this person. I just felt this like love bombing energy coming from this entity, and just that was all the vetting I guess I needed in the moment. It wasn't until really crazy things were happening in my life that I started questioning, and then I demanded that this Archangel Michael literally tell me or show me who they really are. And I was appalled, absolutely appalled, that I had been letting this entity not only make my decisions for me, because I would feel a certain way or another, and then I'd consult Archangel Michael, and then it might be a different, sometimes it lined up with my intuition and other times it didn't. But because it's Archangel Michael, of course I'm going to trust that of my own intuition. No more do I do that. Yeah. We don't need a middleman. I mean, I talk about all of this in my first Substack article. Wrigley's home from camp. Wrigley's home from band camp. Hi, love. We're live. Boston's home from his weightlifting thing. He was helping out at the camp, but there were like, Ruth, it's okay. But there were like four percussion like teachers or helpers, and only 2 percussionists. So Boston's like, this is so boring. I'm not even really helping anyone. I'm just gonna go. So he left the first day. But then yesterday he had his first junior tour thing. Oh, and tonight they're both playing in the city tournament, Wrigley for majors and Boston for seniors for baseball. So if they win, both teams win, they'll both be city champions. Boston, the closest any of the kids' teams over the years in baseball have come is 2nd place in the city tournament last year, which is as worst as both of these kids are going to do this year. So that's good. That's really cool. Never made it this far. You going to get a good hit tonight? Or 3 good hits? 4 good hits.
So, I like trumpet. And I also like trombone.
Yeah.
Slide trumpet.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Do you know anyone that has that?
Mr. Z.
Maybe he could show you how to use it next year.
Yeah, maybe I could switch to it.
Yeah. You gonna do percussion at all?
Probably not, because I want to do slide trumpet.
You could do slide trumpet, and then you could learn your bass and be in the jazz band doing bass. Oh, that'd be sweet. Okay, sorry, we're just having a family meeting. Okay, you can play for a little bit. I have 1 donation. I'm gonna do a little collective reading, and then I'll be off.
Yes, you need to donate to her. She needs donations.
I don't need them.
Yes, she does.
I'm good. Ruth.
She's poor.
I'm not poor. Can you go let Ruth and Pup out for a minute? Let them outside. But if she starts barking at the fence, can you bring them in and put them in the crate? You're in charge, okay? Okay? Okay. Fun little crystal, salt, rice, and herb little potion jar. I love that. This is an abundance potion jar. I love that. Okay. Hopefully it's not too loud. It got a little loud for a second here. I made some AI videos on such traumas, overcoming it, journaling, meditation, etc. They did not get many views. Oh, man. Well, maybe there's another way or another format you can present these things. Because I have a feeling your message is very profound, very needed, very necessary. And you'll find your right audience. We all do eventually. Yeah. Considering making my own Substack with witchy tips and recipes. I am there all day, every day. Do it. Do it. Witches supporting witches. I love it. And, you know, witch still has this very negative connotation in a lot of ways. I mean it as just tuning into the most spiritual, and especially when we were talking about witches, it's usually like the feminine tilt on spirituality. Just your most feminine, divine feminine spiritual aspect. That's what I mean by witch, personally. Yeah, I know a lot of people are like, witch, that's a bad thing. Like, whatever. I don't see that as a bad thing at all. Not at all. We're reclaiming the word witch as a good thing. I'm sure many of us that are actually in this chat have probably been hanged or burned in the past as witches. So there kind of is this like almost visceral reaction to that word. There used to be for me. Or someone's like, oh, are you a witch? I would be like, no. Oh my God, no. But like, I'm like, but why do we fear the witches rather than the people that burn them? Like, that's a meme that I saw, and I'm just like, yeah, like, why? It's because so many of us don't want, you know, we have that persecution wound, or if we weren't literally burned as witches, that persecution wound was like subliminally or subconsciously programmed into us to get us into this matrix, you know, especially if you're a feminine or female presenting person, because that witch wound is very real. Or if you're a male that's had it once and incarnated as a feminine, you still carry that kind of energy in your blueprint because it was placed upon it. We're just shaking it all off. That's what we're doing. Shake it off, shake it off. That was horrible. I'm sorry. I apologize. Matter of fact, Mama is making 2 braids in my hair right now. Oh my gosh, so pretty. Braids are so fun. I need to do more braids in my life, that's for sure. Yeah, I heard people with curly hair can remember their past lives sooner than those with straight hair. From psychologist Past Life Regressions, Dr. Trupti Jain, or I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Hopefully that's close. I don't know. I mean, my hair was kind of like loose ringlets when I was a kid, but then through puberty, my hair got significantly more coarse, and I do not have that like soft curls like think 2008 era Taylor Swift. No fighting. I have the roughest, like, I don't know if you can see, like it's very coarse and rough and it's wiry. Like some of my hair is like this and others is just like, but they like loop-de-loop. It's like looking at a roller coaster frame. Like some of my really coarse. And I'm saying like one of my like really straight fine hairs is like, you'd need like 5 or 6 of those really fine hairs, put them together, and that's the same thickness as like one really coarse hair. I don't know if you guys can see, but my hair is just so coarse. But I do have a powdering of really thin stranded fine hairs within here. I think I have every curl pattern and straight pattern you could imagine in my hair. It just kind of all comes out in the wash looking somewhere like a 2A, B, C somewhere. 2C maybe? 2C, 3A. Some of them are 3A up here, but if you know, you know, as far as the curly girl, whatever. But I have some number 4, really wiry ones up here. I just kind of wish some of them would kind of get all on the same page so I could just style it a little better. But I don't know. I kind of actually, the older I get, I enjoy the wildness of it. Whereas before, if it wasn't all everything, like right here, like a lot of this is just kind of frizzed up today. Like right here, look at that. Oh yeah. But this is like almost like that level 4, 4A probably hair. I don't know if you can tell how curly some of those are. And then you pull them straight and look how much longer they get. It's so weird. But I actually kind of enjoy the different textures because it gives me personality, I guess. Yeah. Who knows? I don't know. I've never had anything different than what I've had to be able to compare. But I've always, even as a child, like I would have these, I used to call movies in my head because I didn't know what else to call them. But it was like they were memories from a life. Like I would miss Christmas as like there was like a horse sleigh, like a sleigh, horse-drawn sleigh. And we were bringing these really intricately wrapped presents to this like mansion house. It reminded me kind of like of London. You know how you'd have these really fancy houses, but they were literally like all connected. There was no space between them, like on like the main streets of London back in like the 17 whatever years. Like I have from a very young child, very clear memories of that. And then there was like especially around Christmas time for whatever reason. And then again, that horse-drawn sleigh going out into the country to this really like immaculate home. And some of those old Christmas cards where you see the horse-drawn sleigh and then the home kind of in the distance with all the snow. I'm like, I lived in those times. Like I can't point to any name or street or year, but like the vibe of it is there in my memory somehow from the time I was a very young child. And it was usually like fall time, like right before Halloween, all the way through like Christmas. Okay. All the way through like Christmas time. I'm like, those were the most nostalgic times for me for whatever reason, for lives that I felt like I had memories of. But back when I was a kid, I didn't know what a past life was. And especially when you go to church, at the Christian church, you learn you only had one life. So it's not like I was even chalking those up to being a past life, but like I knew somehow I had memories of living a life like that. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just weird. But yeah, for sure. Going for dinner, please timestamp in case my reading is done. Absolutely, get to like. I talked so long, and this was just going to be a donation only live stream. We've literally just talked for what? Almost an hour and a half. But this is how I like it. This is fun for me. But yes, we're going to timestamp when the time comes. I'm going to catch up on comments, and then we're going to do get to Leica's reading. We're going to do our little collective reading. And that's that. Okay. Oh, the false light beings. I just connected with one thinking it's an avian being, as it was just sharing presence with me. So shine and no hype. No shine and no hype. Gotcha. Yeah. We heard that. They are loud. Yeah, they are loud. That's for sure. So I have to go do groceries. Just thought to let you know. You have to get to like a donation with timestamp. Thank you so much, Farsha. I appreciate everything you do. Everything. Okay. Hopefully my dogs won't bark. Let's just actually get into get to Leica's reading. We're gonna timestamp that at 1:25:44. Funny, the last timestamp I have for you is 1:44:10. So we have a 1 and a 44, but we've just switched things around. Get to Leica. Your name is so fun for me to say. I don't know if I've told you that before. I just love to say it. Get to Leica. Okay, so where are we? Email. Okay. So, got a project. This one is also for short duration. So, fear of company policy still remains when this gets over. Guidance about life, career, spirituality from higher realm. Okay. Yes, I can see where, there's like an end in sight of a project, and then it's like, well, where do I go from here? That can be very scary. I can only imagine. But let's just tune in, not just to this specific project. Oh, I'm already getting information that whatever this project is, you are really shining a light on your skills and your abilities to where you're getting recognition for your job well done on this project. Look at that. Yes, this is exactly what was coming through before I even got the cards up right. Very much so. And even though this is a card about emotional fulfillment, a lot of times there's a longevity factor to the 10 of Cups, the 10 of Pentacles especially, but also the 10 of Cups for me. There's this element of longevity. Whatever you're building this emotional connection to, not attachment, not emotional attachment, but emotional connection. So if you can find a way to emotionally connect to the people that are involved in this, or just wanting to put your best foot forward or do the best job that you can, and having your communication, not like an over communication where you're annoying people or anything like that, but just making sure your communication is top notch. Or if you're confused about anything, just getting any kind of confusion out front and center, communicating about it so that you can move forward with clarity on this project. But since we're tuning into the factor of, needing that next project, like what does this mean long term? Let me read the last part of your question once again. Guidance about life, career, spirituality from the higher realm. But before we tune more into that, let's just see with this project, just the fear the company policy will remain. What does Get to Leica need to know about the company policy, especially after this project is over? Okay. Well, look at that. There's longevity. This is 10 of Pentacles if I've ever seen it. I know we have 10 of Cups, so now we have like a 10 of Pentacles. And this is the work card. Bees usually have like the best work ethic around, but this is not about working so hard that you literally pass away, like grinding yourself into like overworking yourself. That's not what we're doing here. This is about you pacing yourself and showing long-term that you have value at this company. Even if you're between projects after this next one, your value is just so front and center that even if that policy remains, they're going to find a way to find another project for you or bend the rules potentially. But I just see you consistently being able to work. So it's not like you're even having these big breaks or pauses between projects. It's like by the time this next one's done, there's already a more longer term project ready for you to sign up or get on board with, or we're waiting for you, not like, oh, we're waiting for you, but like, we're waiting for you. Like, once this project that you're on is wrapping up, like, we're so excited to get you in on this project because, wow, we really need your skills over here. Like, that's what this is giving. So there's really nothing to worry about here, which is good, This is what we want. So as far as spirituality, career, life in general, just any advice or guidance from spirit for Getaleka, please, in alignment with her true spirit. This whole stack wants to come out. So we have here caterpillar. Things will not always be this way. A change is coming. So this like short term leapfrog into another short term, leapfrog into another short term, pairing that up with this, that's going to change to where you're having a more consistent workflow. Or if that remains that, okay, there's only short projects available, what do I need to do to stay on here? No, your skills are going to speak for themselves to where even if you're between projects, you're too valuable to let go ever. Like that's kind of how they view you at this work job. A journey, either physical or mental, with the carriage. This to me feels like your spiritual path. And this could even be you like remote viewing or astral traveling or something, but you are really, you're going places without even having to leave your house. Because this is very much spiritual or even mental. Maybe you're even doing some daydreaming. Yes, this is your reading. Yep. We started a few minutes back, so you can kind of scroll back or kind of scrub back through the timing, and you can 2 times speed it or just listen. And then when it's over, catch up to whatever you want to do. But yes, this journey is coming for you. This feels like you are also, when you think journey, it's like an elevation of something that you're already doing. We have tree, affairs with your family, but to me, tree, especially a tree this mature, it takes 30, 40 years for a tree to become this mature. That speaks again, like very 10 of Pentacles energy. There's longevity here. There's a longevity to your life, to the way you bring forward your spiritual gifts, to your career. There's longevity. Even if you're the one making these shifts and changes to something that you feel is more stable or supportive. But also there could be just a strengthening of connections in like with you and a family member. Specifically parents, just knowing that you're really supported, loved, cared for, supported with parents. But then we have the sunrise card. This is new beginnings all day long. New creative ideas, new ventures, and a fresh start. So once this next project is kind of done, I do see you being able to arrive into something new. This also really does feel to be spiritual gifts, especially with this combination. Spiritual gifts really coming online. And it might even be as a result of a trip into a town over, or it doesn't even have to be a long trip. This could be like a day trip into, another part of town even, or something like that, that is inspiring these new ideas for you. And this could even be like a whole different income stream that you're just doing from home because it's something that's really exciting to you. Again, it could look something like what you were doing with YouTube, but maybe you're finding a way, like a new way forward with that, to where it's actually starting to bring in some money or something. Or maybe this is some whole other like contract work or something. But whatever it is you're building here, I see longevity. I don't see like gaps in any kind of income or anything like that. I just see you being able to move forward in a way that you're not worried about where that next paycheck is coming from. This is very stable, very secure. All right. Closing statement for Getaleka. Anything else she needs to know? Career, spirituality, life, just anything, advice, wisdom, guidance that needs to come through right now in alignment with her true spirit. We have the trash can. I actually love this card a lot. And it's very in alignment with the sunrise card because this is about letting go of what's not really serving. This could be just even limiting beliefs, It doesn't have to be like getting rid of the job, getting rid of people at the job or anything like that. But this is about releasing, restarting, or renewing. Your hands can't hold new gifts while gripping old trash. Sometimes the kindest choice is to walk away. Again, this is more energetically than physically or literally. So this is maybe you walking away from, energetically speaking, away from short-term project, short-term project, short-term project. Leapfrog, leapfrog, leapfrog. I can say that 5 times fast, probably not. But you being able to leapfrog from having to find all these new, or maybe new projects coming to you, but they're very short term, into something that's a long-term deal that's really going to be supportive of you financially, abundantly, even emotionally fulfilling. Again, with that card we had earlier, the 10 of Cups. Where are you? There it is. this is emotionally fulfilling. Both parents need operations, 4 operations, knee replacement, only 1 done, a lot of responsibilities on me. Oh no. And this could be right here. Why kind of the underlying energy of, oh no, like I'm going to have to work until I'm dead because like I have so much that I have to pay for and the responsibility and the weight on my shoulders. Let's just specifically get some, before we close out, some advice or guidance on just you being able to be responsibility without it feeling like a heavy weight or a drain on you financially, abundantly, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. Let's just see advice, wisdom, guidance for this to flow and these, issues that need to be operated on, for these problems to be taken care of without you feeling like you're burning out or having to work all these extra hours to pay for things or just to be responsible. Let's just get some guidance and advice for the best path forward for you to feel the ease of this rather than it being something painful or difficult. Slippery energy, it fell to the ground. So I'm going to use my foot to bring it over here. Ugh, we got it. Okay. We have blender, disruption, chaos, and change. Your routine is about to be blended. The new mixture will surprise you. And because we're asking for like good things to come from this, there's something you're blending or changing or a disruption to kind of the status quo or the way you've been doing things that will actually work in your favor to help you support these parents. Let's get 2 more of these just in regards to helping support the parents also supporting you emotionally and all of that. Because I do see they are a great emotional support to you. Oh, I love this. Money path. A path with money is waiting for you to find it. So there's something you're doing that is changing. And again, these can be because of shifts or changes you're making, or just, wow, good life, past life karma coming in hot that is going to financially and mentally just kind of take the weight off for you, especially where your parents are concerned, to be able to allow you to go through these changes and them to obviously go through these kind of, growing older kind of changes they're going through. But you're going to be finding a way to be able to financially support this. Oh, I love this. We have success and we have younger man, dealings or relationship with a younger man. This could be someone you work with. This could be a family member, but this person is going to help you with something on your path to success. And it doesn't literally have to be someone at work unless someone, again, use your own intuition on this. Like, what does this look like for you? Is this like a spiritual guardian that's working with you? Is this a family member? Is this someone at work? You'll know intuitively. Also, Saturn will bring more responsibilities after 5 years. No holiday for me, it seems. Well, remind me, you have Saturn in the 1st house, is that right? I know it's in Uttara Falguni, if I'm remembering right. It's in Leo. I remember it's in Leo. Remind me if you can. Usually when someone has Saturn in the 1st house, from a young age, they already had a lot of responsibility. Even though my Saturn is technically in the 12th house, per Baba Chalit, however you say that, my Saturn is past a specific degree to where if we look at the Baba Chalit chart, it actually does fall in my 1st house, which is like, you're already, like, you're born responsible, pretty much. But if that's not the case for you, it's what's weird, what's interesting about this, as Saturn matures, you've already kind of been very in your Saturn energy all these years, especially if Saturn's in your 1st house, to where Saturn kind of starts to reward you once Saturn Mahadasha kicks off, rather than adding even more responsibility. Maybe the responsibility is greater, but your capacity to be able to be the responsible one for said responsibilities greatly increases during Saturn Mahadasha. And I know a lot of people fear Saturn Mahadasha, but sometimes it can be the best dasha of your life. Depending. Oh, 6th and 7th house. Okay, gotcha. Well, 6th house, once again, is about that daily grind, responsibility. 7th house is about other people. So what I see with this for you, either way, you've already been very responsible. I can just feel that in your energy, that you've been a very responsible person. And especially when Saturn's in your 6th house, from a young age, you've kind of had to have these daily routines or just be more responsible than other people your age. Even if you couldn't see it then, if you kind of look back at it, you can kind of see it now. 2nd house, I think, is Uttara Falguni. Okay. I don't know how I got those all mixed up, but somehow, some way. I do see you being able, let's get one more. Just any other advice, wisdom, guidance, especially during Saturn Mahadasha and that kind of perceived increase of responsibility. Actually, what I see for you, it's not an increase of responsibility. It's just you being able to be more efficient with the way you're already being responsible. But let's just get any other guidance that needs to come through on that Saturn Mahadasha. Ooh, a lot. Concept, wish, balance, and influence. Yeah, you're going to be able to balance out all of that heavy duty responsibility that you've had, be a great influence on other people. Concept and then wish. This is you wishing for like a new container or a new way of operating or being in your responsibilities. So it's almost like you're finding a way to streamline the way you show up. And what I'm seeing in my mind's eye, it's almost like, okay, I have all these responsibilities. Think of your responsibilities as different bills you have to pay. And think of back in the day, I'm just reminded of my own childhood, pounding pavement down Main Street. I mean, it's called California Avenue, Mineral Avenue, like the two main streets of town where most of the businesses were. I'd pound the pavement with my mom's bank money envelope and go pay the title company for our house. I'd go pay the water bill. I'd go pay the power bill. I mean, she's literally paying it, but I'm the one facilitating, going and paying. But for you, what I'm seeing is all these different responsibilities as like bills you're paying. But think of when like online bill paying and banking and all that became available to where now with the click of a button, or maybe even just setting up auto pay, these responsibilities are paid and taken care of without you having to physically go down to the establishment and hand them their money and then them hand you your receipt for that monthly bill or service. That's how I see this, is like you are finding a more efficient way to be responsible. And then the financial flow that you had come in with those other cards is really going to help streamline your responsibilities, especially as you enter and during Saturn Mahadasha for you. Oh, Leo in first house, Jupiter. Okay, that's where I was getting things mixed up. My wires crossed a bit. Yeah, second house. Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. Okay. I know we had to, because you're in Jupiter right now. That's where I mixed that up. Yes, that's where it got mixed up. And do you remember which nakshatra your Saturn is in? So it will put it somewhere in Capricorn or Aquarius, if I'm not mistaken. If we're looking at Leo as your first house, and if your Saturn's in 6th or 7th, or as the kids say, 6, 7. It doesn't matter. If you want to share, that's fine, but you don't have to. I could just get a little more information, but I feel like we really hit into the information and you being able to just trust your intuition. Oh, maybe Virgo. Okay. So if Saturn's in your first house of Leo, Virgo would be your second house. So Saturn in your second house? Oh, you did say up here. Not 6th or 7th, but second house. Okay. And that makes sense because you're financially responsible for parents and, having all this financial responsibility placed on your shoulders. Well, this actually, with the reading that we have, actually makes even better sense here as you being able to streamline how you show up and pay for things because like your monthly bills and stuff can be reflected. Well, the money that you use to pay said monthly bills or, hospital bills or what have you comes from the second house. So this makes perfect sense to me with the cards you got for, especially as you move toward and into your Saturn Mahadasha. Yes, maybe you will be more financially responsible for people than you had been, say, earlier on in Jupiter or kind of in this last phase of Jupiter, last 5 years or however many years of Jupiter, as you move into your Saturn Mahadasha. But by the time you reach Saturn Mahadasha, it's just going to be ain't no thing. Like I've got this streamlined. I've got this figured out. There's more than enough money to come in to cover all of these expenses. I'm good to go. And then Saturn Mahadasha, you're just spending time nuancing that and finding new ways forward. Maybe you're getting even new or different income streams or investments that are kind of compounding in a good way to bring in even more financial abundance to help really facilitate the responsibilities that you have. I hope that resonates for you, my dear. Okay. Up next, we have Florence. And then Michelle is here. Hello. She has donated as well. So Florence, reading. Yes, there's definitely still time. Absolutely. So I don't see a question for Florence. Usually she posts it here in the chat, but I'll go over to PayPal. Oh, she did put it in PayPal today. Perfect. I will also timestamp just so I make sure she gets her reading if she's here or not. 144.50. And that's almost Get to Lekka's timestamp from last week. That's so funny. And this is for Florence B. Perfect. Okay. So let's go read her question. Take a quick drink of water, all the fun things. I can never say the name of this place. It looks like Mallorca, but it's not pronounced that way. I do remember. Let me Google how to say this so I don't completely make an ass of myself. Okay.
Mallorca.
Mallorca. There we go. That's not that hard. I got it. Okay. I hope that's how we say it. I hope Google's not gaslighting me. Okay. So my dream is to buy or build a house on the island of Mallorca. It's a cool word. I love it. Right now I am living in an apartment with my friend Ella in the Elia in the city. What will the living situation be in the future? Will I keep living with her, a partner, community, or by myself? Should I sell my apartment in Berlin? Okay. So let's see. We've kind of got a couple questions in here. So kind of let's treat them as like one card. You know how we do. Okay. So let's just tune first and foremost into your dream. And I want to go to the Lovely Ladies Tarot for this. So let's go there first. Okay. So Florence's question, being able to build, her dream is to build a home on the island of Mallorca. So let's just see what she needs to know about this dream. Okay, we have slippery energy. So I just heard seeing is believing is usually how we go, but this is about believing is seeing. Yeah, Mallorca, however we say it. You know what I'm trying to say, and so does Spirit. So, but look, we have the Empress. This is the most abundant card, if you ask me, of the major arcana. I can't think of a more, hey, I'm building abundance, I've already created abundance, or I'm ready to receive abundance. So the fact just tuning into the dream of being able to do this, it absolutely is valid. That's why it's one of your great dreams, to be able to have this. Oh, Brianna's back. Welcome. Okay. So as far as making this dream a reality, what is the advice for Florence to be able to make this dream of building this home on this island a reality? Okay, those fell, but not to the floor. Thank goodness. Wow, we have 2 10s. The 10 of Wands and the 10 of Cups. And I actually really love this 10 of Wands card. It's really beautiful. This is really about being able to, I just heard outsource resource. So this is about you being able to like outsource the things that just aren't serving you. Not like you have to put them on other people, but this is about knowing when to say no to certain opportunities or people or trips or situations or, whatever the case may be. Just knowing when to say no will put you in alignment with what to say yes to, because you have the 10 of Cups, which is about emotional fulfillment and feeling like you've arrived, like you're able to make that dream a reality. Especially with this Empress card as kind of the main card of this part of your question. So being able to put down the situations, the jobs, the schedules, the whatever it is, whether it's limiting beliefs, whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship with someone that's not serving your dream of making this, building this home on this island. It's about letting those things go to allow the room for that emotional fulfillment and any finances that need to come in to help pay for this endeavor. So as far as the rest of your question, let's go back to email real quick. So currently living in an apartment with Elia in the city. So what will the living situation be in the future? And by future, let's just say the next couple years, I guess. living situation for Florence. What will this look like in the next couple years? I'm hearing do this. Ooh, 10 of Pentacles. This definitely does indicate a move in the next few years. And not just any move. This is a move like a step up or kind of in a direction of what you're trying to build long term. So absolutely, you're making some moves here toward this dream that you have. But let's just see anything else you need to know in the next few years as far as living situation, whether that's with a partner, still with Elia, on her own, moving. What does this look like for Florence in the next few years? Kind of clarifying this 10 of Pentacles. We have T set. Talk, discernment, and protection. Use discernment in talk and protect yourself from gossip. So again, kind of going back to, outsourcing or offloading, like what is no longer for you, what's not serving your dream. And, any kind of financial move you make or even personal move you make, you need to ask yourself, is this moving me closer to building my dream home? Or is this kind of moving me farther away? Or is it just kind of neutral? And that will be for your own discernment to decide, like, what is my next step as a result of whatever your answer is. But this is about also not maybe telling certain people what your dream is, because some people may try to talk you out of it or actively kind of like have this envy to almost sabotage or block that from happening without even meaning to. Sometimes people's envy is just, they don't realize that it has any kind of potency or power. But you just keeping this dream close to your chest, not to say you can't daydream about it and write about it and talk about it or whatever, but just kind of know your audience is really what's coming through. Any other clarification on this 10 of Pentacles, especially in the living situation over the next few years? We have book. I love this. Prophecy, guidance, action. Recent readings hold a message. Execute quickly to achieve goals. So this could be something you read online. It could be a literal tarot reading that you did for yourself, or one that we've done together. There's information that's coming in for you and even into the near future that is going to help you kind of set the stage for how to make this dream a reality. But yeah, your living situation definitely looks like it's going to shift or change in the next 3 to 4 years. Absolutely guaranteed that you're going to be in a different living situation. As far as if you're living alone or not, let's just see if Florence will be living alone or with someone else once she moves in this next few years. Okay, well, we have Queen of Swords. She is kind of on her own for a while, but that doesn't mean she's not in communication or contact, or, if you do have some sort of roommate situation going on, it's you kind of as the head of household and then them, paying rent or something, rather than you kind of going halvesies on an apartment together or something like that. It's like, this is your dream and they're just kind of paying the rent toward contributing to that dream, if that's the case, if it's the dream home you're moving into, especially. But it's under your volition is kind of how we'll put that. And then as far as the last part of your question, should I sell my apartment in Berlin? All right, let's get to the bottom of that question. Is it in Florence's spiritual best interest to sell her apartment in Berlin here in the near future? Okay, this is interesting because I intuitively was already like, hold on to it. Like, if you can kind of like lease it out or something, which you may be already doing, I see that working out for a while. Like, there's no real rush. I mean, the Four of Swords is about just kind of, got a little action going on here. Let me cover that up. She's beautiful, but like, okay. YouTube doesn't like the nudity factor, I guess. But anyway, I don't see any real, like, there's no real reason or like anything forcing you. We'll put it that way. There's nothing really forcing you to have to make this move right now. So wait on it. And wait, I would say at least the next couple years. There's no real compelling reason for you to have to sell. And if you're going to eventually sell, it'll be to basically put the lump sum of whatever you do make on the sale of that home on your dream home. But let's just see anything else Florence needs to know about potentially eventually selling her Berlin apartment. Okay, these almost fell, but I caught them. Ooh, okay. So we have the Hanged Man and then the Four Pentacles. Four Pentacles, I always like to pull with the clarifier, and it came out with the clarifier. Wait, just wait on it. Like there's no rush. There's no rush right now. But eventually you will see something that you aren't able to see right now that will ultimately put you where you need to be. I do see eventually, like, you know, later down the road, you will sell your apartment. You will. But there's no real reason in the next 3, 4, 5 years really to, I said 5 and it's like, well, so maybe somewhere between that 4.5 and 5 year mark. Again, time is weird right now. So don't take any time frames I give you with any real credence. Just like, oh, you know, kind of keep it in the back of your mind as a maybe time wise. But for as far as the near future goes, there's no real reason for you to need to sell this right now. Again, if those funds are needed to fund the dream home because you're making that dream that reality, that would probably be the time. Yeah. So eventually, yes. But as far as right now, there's no real rush on selling your Berlin apartment. So I hope that helped for you. Okay. Yeah, I'm probably still butchering the name of that island, but apologies. My dog's trying to let himself out, but the door's locked. You can hear him scratching on the handle. All right, Michelle, you are next, my dear. Boom, boom, boom. Go ahead and post your question. We'll get right into that for you. Take a quick drink of water. And if you're still here, we're going to do just a little mini collective reading at the very end. So probably likely after Michelle's reading here, we're going to do a little mini collective reading. All right, general near future. What should I focus on and look forward to? All right, for Michelle, we're going to go back to the Delos Tarot. Anything Michelle needs to know. General near future, what she should focus on and look forward to in alignment with her true spirit. Because I heard right now, ego and true spirit are having like clashing reasons or desires, I guess, right now. So in alignment with true spirit. So there's this deep need for profound rest. And a lot of times I think, well, I've been kind of lazy. I've been doing whatever. Like my own example. I'm like, I felt lazy for like the last 2 months. But in so many ways, it was just very necessary and very needed to just recuperate. And this doesn't have to be physically for you, Michelle, unless you feel like you're in a physical recovery period, but just like emotionally, spiritually, you're gearing up for something really big. And I'm seeing by August, there's something that you're going to be coming and going and spending a lot of time on and just taking a lot of action in a direction to where right now, I just heard it's summer and the living is easy. I don't know if that's a song or what is that? I've heard it before, but I don't know. Okay, it's summer and the living is easy. Okay. Summertime and the living is easy. So this is a 1968 song by Urban Ninjas. And I want to say someone in the 90s.
First Lady's song, is it?
Oh.
Maybe so.
Let's see.
Maybe so.
I want to say it was like Sublime or something did it. I want to say that's the case. Let's see. Sorry, I'm YouTube searching. Louis Armstrong and Ella Fitzgerald from 1968. But I'm hearing like a more 90s version of that song in my head with men singing it for some reason. Let's see. I don't know if it was like Sublime or 311 or who. Trying to find it. I don't know. Nothing's really popping up. But anyway, what I'm hearing is just, taking it easy, getting some rest. Maybe if you're laying out in the sun or you know, whatever summertime type of activities that aren't just you at work or you at home. Oh, doing time. Okay, that's it. I knew, like, it sounded like Sublime or 311 almost in my mind. Yeah, that's it. So it may feel to you like you're doing time, like waiting for your life to start. But let's just read some lyrics for doing time. Doing time. Sublime. Can't believe I actually got the band right for once. Usually I get it wrong or I'm so far off mark, I don't even know. I gotta go back to find the lyrics just so I'm sure if you know the song, you can go do that homework yourself. But I just want to see the lyrics, just see if there's anything standing out here. All right, lyrics. Let's click on that. Okay. Okay, summertime and the living is easy. Bradley's on the microphone with Ras MG. All people in the dance will agree that we're well qualified to represent the LBC. G, me and Louie we're gonna run to the party, dance to. It's funny because they're busy. They're doing things. They're running around. They're dancing. Me and my girl, we got love. We got this relationship. I love her so bad, but she treats me like ish. On lockdown, like a penitentiary. She spreads her loving all over. Oh no, he's getting cheated on. Anyway, to me, this is about you. And correct me if I'm wrong. A while back, we had kind of tuned in that maybe you would have this relationship with someone who was like a walking red flag. This is like you dodging that bullet. So there might be someone coming into your awareness during this summertime that is, you know, like, and this is, I think, where ego and what you truly need to do spiritually are kind of clashing, because you might meet this person somewhere where people are gathered is kind of how I'm seeing this. And like your ego's like, yeah, he's like fun and he's cute and it's a good time. But like your spirit is like, absolutely not. Like, and even your ego's like, absolutely not. But like, I don't know, it's kind of fun right now. There's a potential for that. That does not mean that has to happen. It feels like there's a potential for that this summer, but it's like you're taking, with that 4 of Swords that came out, you're like taking time out. Like time out. No, I'm not doing that. You're waiting for the right person. That's absolutely the energy that this is giving. And just because, you know, sometimes when we're waiting for that right person and then anyone comes along, first, you know, we kind of might almost try to shape this person into, well, they could be the right person if they did X, Y, or Z. Or if I look at them just kind of squinted a little bit, like they kind of look energetically the way I need them to look. But it's like trying to fit that square peg in the round hole is really what's coming through. Then we have the 3 of Cups coming out. So you might meet this person or maybe a different person through a group of friends or people that you trust and, you know, can confide in is really what's coming through. Specifically female people in your life. Let's just see anything else Michelle needs to know. Because it's almost like life is going to test you to almost like give you this little taste of something fun and exciting, just because it's new and fun and exciting, because things have maybe been a little stale or stagnant for you, that it's like, let's just see if she'll bite at this. But you just kind of standing in your conviction and just saying, oh no, I'm actually just going to go home and have a chill night. That is kind of you passing the test is really what this feels like. But of course, intuitively, if someone invites you somewhere and you're like, I think I should go, then please follow that intuition. Because if at any point during this thing you feel like, oh, the walking red flag is here, you can just exit stage left. Like there's no bullets to have to dodge here is what's really coming forward. But let's just see any advice, wisdom, guidance, because something will be starting to really want to pop off for you toward the end of summer, like August, kind of going into early September. For Michelle, what does she need to know in the meantime before life starts to get exciting again? Well, you're going to have a lot more energy. And that's where kind of we start with that 4 of Swords. It's like wherever it is that you need this deep, profound rest, that's where you can focus. And again, this doesn't mean that you have to rest 24/7 and you can't do anything. You can't go to the gym. You can't go to work. Like, no, that's not what this means. But when you are taking your time to rest, make sure you're actually resting, recuperating energetically, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, all the things. Anything else for Michelle? We have energy again. Okay, we get it. We get it. There's energy coming in. This is good. This is good stuff. But this is not about using that energy to burn out or kind of burn the candle at both ends is kind of how I see it. But just chill, just taking it chill, taking it easy until you're ready to pop off in August, September in a direction. What area of life, let's go to, where are we going to? What area of life is this new energy really leading Michelle into? What area of life? Where are things really going to get exciting, especially toward the end of summer? Okay. In communication, we have the vanity card. Again, there's, the fine line between the ego, what the ego wants, what the spirit wants. This does not mean you can't be feeling yourself. That is not what this means. But what this is really saying is, especially if you're in kind of, that like party mode or like with a group of people and drinks are being had, or you're just kind of vibing with people, that you're really using your discernment. And you can see when someone else is very much in their ego. And you'll realize if there's someone really showing up full force in their ego, you don't really want much to do with that. That really almost acts as like a turnoff or almost just repels you because you're just not about that. Maybe in your early 20s or whatever, like, sure, whatever, cool, sounds fun. But like now you're just looking for the real deal or that's it. Like, nah, I'm good. And then we have kind of a blue outline here, which is very throat chakra, very communication. So there might even be some communication. But again, you're seeing through someone's red flags or their ego, really. All right, let's roll the astro dice for our closing statements. Ooh, we have feminine energy here with Venus, 11th house friendship, and we have Sagittarius, which is about deep connections. That is literally this card in a nutshell. Do you think these are new female friends? Because I don't have anyone around me at the moment. Hello. These might be female friends you're meeting somewhere online potentially. Because 11th house is about network circles. Or maybe you're meeting these through friends of friends or people you work with's friends. Or, I don't know, there's some sort of gathering or party or event. Could be a concert. I don't know. It's some sort of like, there's people around. They're vibing. They're chilling. They're talking. They're hanging out. Where you're meeting people. So this really could, especially with that Venus energy, that's feminine energy coming in strong. And then with Sagittarius, this isn't that like surface level Gemini gossipy type vibe. When you show up in this vibe with Sagittarius, it's deep, it's spiritual, it's philosophical. Like you actually have things to talk about that aren't hair, nails, boys, and whatever. Like, not that those things are wrong, but sometimes when you have connections with people, you want to go deeper, And that's what these people, let's just see if we, again, take timing with a grain of salt, Michelle, because time is weird right now. Let's just see. Okay. Mama. Okay. Quit sitting around and waiting for divine timing. You are in control. We have not in this lifetime something more abundant and stable is coming. So I'm actually reading this more as some of the female friendships that you've had that almost touched on this almost like spiritual connection, but there was like a jealousy or a disconnect somehow that it didn't quite, hit the mark or whatever. It wasn't quite what you were looking for or hoping for or wanting. But this year, something is coming in that you're ready for. And then think twice. This may lead you down a very dark path. Think this through a little more. So this really is about you using your discernment, because I think that you've been through enough friendships or had enough friendships in your life that you can kind of see, again, walking red flags. And this might even be like that masculine energy still kind of creeping in, this kind of walking red flag male energy that is leaking into even you making female friendships, the energy of it. And correct me if I'm wrong, Michelle, I think it was your reading a while back, earlier this year, later last 2025 sometime, where we were really tuning into like a walking red flag type guy coming in to kind of test you, just to see if you've learned from past connections that were more surface level or, no one wanting anything serious or stuff like that. I mean, a lot of times people don't come out with these like villainous, like twirling their mustache kind of intentions toward people. It's not usually like that. It's more, I just want to get like my fix or, have a good time, or it's usually more coming from a place like that. But people can get hurt. Let's just see. Yeah, I got a reading. I might have a fling, and I don't want to have a fling, especially if he's taken. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm waiting for the right person. Do you think these are new female friends? Yes. Do you think I could meet someone worthy when I'm out with my friends? That's really what this is giving. And it might even be that that's when you kind of come into contact with this walking red flag type of person that you can literally just completely avoid going down that catastrophic roller coaster by just vetting the red flags as you see them and just saying no thanks. Like, yeah, it's going to be as a result of you putting yourself out there and finally just taking some action in a more social direction. Because it's really hard, not impossible with, online dating and stuff, but it's really hard to meet someone sitting on our couch or laying in bed at home by ourselves. It's really hard to meet someone that way. So this is kind of about just putting yourself back out there in the community events, maybe even just looking on like some sort of community calendar or events, maybe even if it's just like at a little local coffee shop, there's like open mic night or, little like local band performances performing, and you go to these concerts. Like there's always something, usually if you have a decently big enough town, there's usually like community events going on, and not just around different holidays, but like just in general, like especially during summer, there's a lot of like, I don't know, here in town, there's like arts in the park. There's different, like I think it's every Wednesday, there's like a free concert in the park. And people from all walks of life, there's parents with their children, there's teenagers, there's elderly people. Lady down the street, she's probably close to 90 years old, and she had went with someone, I can't remember. She'd gone with someone on the night that we had that huge storm. She'd gone down there with someone, but then they had to leave early for some reason, and a storm happened, and she started walking home, and some like good Samaritan actually drove her home. That arts in the park thing is like 3 miles, maybe 4 miles from our house. She couldn't have walked in that storm all the way home at 85 to 90 years old. But people from all walks of life go to these kind of things. So I'm picturing or envisioning something like that, where you may meet some good female friends or a good female friend that then introduces you into her friend group or something. And then before you know it, like you're part of this group, and you, like, again, though, this is not superficial, judgmental types of friendships. These are good, at least spiritually inclined or spiritually leaning kind of female friendships. That you might meet this walking red flag through. Maybe it's a brother of one of these people, or just someone they kind of know by association somehow. Yeah, I remember you mentioned I can meet someone in August, September. So I keep my eyes out for a fun outing. Yeah, even if you have to make your own fun and go by yourself. I know that's scary. That can be really scary. But you never know. You never know that, hey, maybe I take myself out to dinner to this restaurant I've been wanting to try, but I don't have anyone to go with. I'm going to take myself on a alone date, just me and my fork and my plate and the food on the plate. You never know that you might just be sitting there alone. Either you're, reading a book, or you're just kind of enjoying the atmosphere, and someone walks up, a female, a male, whoever walks up and like gets to know you. I don't know. You just never know. So trusting, like you kind of have this, like, I think I need to go to the store and get some groceries. I'm just kind of feeling a weird snacky mood, but you don't know why. And it's like, well, I kind of just want to go to the store. Trust your intuition, trust your intuition and go do the thing. And even if something doesn't really happen, you're putting yourself out there. And the more you start to do that, the more it's kind of sending the signal that you're ready for some connection, And the more you can be connected to your own self, and kind of, a lot of times when we're lonely or feeling alone, we can almost put off this vibe that's almost off-putting to others. Like it almost repels people. And not because they're like actively like, oh, I'm repelled by that person. It's just like you're either like invisible to them, or they don't even see you there. Like, again, I guess that goes with invisibility, or just energetically, you're filling your cup up so much that it's starting to overflow. And other people will be drawn to that, not in a way to like siphon what you have, but they're just attracted to the vibe that you're giving off. Yeah, I would love new friends. I want soul family. The people around me now are more jealous and low vibe. And that's exactly what this appears that you're moving out of. Yeah, absolutely. So summer is you just kind of really tuning into you, what it is you want to do, filling up your own cup, putting yourself out there when you feel so inclined, and just seeing what happens. And that could be what that Four of Cups was, or sorry, Four of Swords was really talking about at the beginning of your reading, is just taking that deep, profound rest to really connect to your own self. It doesn't have to look like bed rotting or just laying on the couch or anything. Just you resting in your own energy counts as you connecting to yourself. And if you are like actively connecting to yourself in ways like taking yourself out on fun dates, or, you know, just doing the things that light you up and bring you joy, that's going to attract others who are also in that energy for sure. Yeah, I think ever since I noticed my gym crush wasn't what I thought it was, I really feel my intuition tricked me. Aw. Well, that's the thing. Kind of, we were talking earlier I think it was, I can't remember what we were talking about, but I'm like, yeah, even if your intuition leads you so far and then you pivot like a 180 degree and go a completely different direction, technically your intuition wasn't deceiving you. It was getting you to get out there to a point to where you realize certain things to then take you maybe in a different direction. So maybe like, oh, my intuition deceived me, or it lied to me. Oh yeah, that's what we're talking about, like Archangel Michael and all that. But like sometimes your intuition will lead you to what feels like a dead end, just for you to realize you can go a different way. You can do life a different way. Even if your intuition was leading you in this direction that you may now feel is like, oh, that was delusional, or, you know, where did he even go? Like, I don't even know what's going on. There's a reason for everything. Like it does feel very spiritually purposeful for whatever reason, even if we never understand on a human conceptual level, like why did I have to have that crush on that gym guy, or why did this have to happen, or why did I go this direction just for it to all blow up in my face and me have to start all over in this other, like, not saying that for you, but like as an example, you know, because we can have small little intuitive or seemingly intuitive mess ups, and then larger ones where like, well, I thought I was trusting my intuition, but this is how it all ended. Like, that doesn't feel very good to me. It's all nuance. And maybe even just doing some reflective journaling can help you kind of move through how you felt deceived, or, you know, just tricked by your own intuition. It never feels good to feel like your intuition tricked you, though. So that's valid. To feel that way is valid. But to maybe do some introspection as to like, why do I feel this way? Or why did my intuition make me think this or that? Or, you know, was my ego trying to get in the way of my intuition? Like, we just, you know, a lot of times when we can do that introspection and kind of hindsight being 2020, looking back at things, we can kind of understand things in a way that we didn't while it was going on. And it may even be that you're actively trying to figure out, why did this happen? And the answer is just eluding you until you're like, whatever, forget it. And then you're like over in this other direction, just minding your own business in a completely other way. And then the answer just pops into your mind and you're like, that's why I trusted this and had that happen and this thing. Sometimes it just comes out of left field and you're not even thinking you'll ever get an answer for whatever. It's happened to me so many times. And sometimes the more I actively try to like hook in and figure something out, the more it evades me. It's almost like two magnets that are just pushing each other away rather than coming together. So it's about nuance. It's about trusting your intuition. It's this journey we call life is not always easy, and sometimes it's downright difficult. Downright difficult. All right, Michelle, big hugs to you. Yeah, it always feels weird when we're in these kind of limbo times in life where we're not quite where we used to be, but not quite where we want to be. And even if we don't know exactly where we want to be, we just know right now is not it. It's not always easy to be in that energy. So I do empathize with that. All right. I think Florence had donated for another. You're so welcome, my dear. Anytime. Florence donated for another one card. Well, for a one card. Another question. So question that came from the previous reading. Since I said it would most likely be living by myself in this home, what about building a family? Is that something that is destined? Well, fun fact, you did have the Empress card, which is the mother. Whether you're just a mother, kind of mothering your own inner child and any pets or plants or flora and fauna that are on your property, or physical actual mother, we can get right into this. But if that's something that's on your heart and something you want to do, I see that that's absolutely on your heart for a reason. It's not just there to taunt and tease you because that's not the life you're living. But yeah, dream, let's just see. Yeah, is that something that is destined for me, or do I have this dream out of a subconscious fear of being alone. Okay. No, it really does feel to me like if that's something that you want to do, absolutely, Florence. This is on your heart for a reason. But let's just see about becoming a mother if that's in the cards. Look at that, Knight of Pentacles. It may be later than when your younger self is like, oh, I'll probably get married. Like, just take my example. I like, I'll get married by 24 and then I'll have a baby like that same year. And then like, I'll have my other kids. I wanted 3. I'll have my other kids, but life almost never goes exactly according to plan. I always knew I'd only have boys. Like I knew that. So when I was very first pregnant, I was like, this is a girl. Oh no. Oh no. Not oh no, because I didn't want a girl. I absolutely wanted a girl. But I knew I wasn't going to have daughters. So it confused me. And then I was scared and then I miscarried. So it's a weird feeling. But for you, it may not look exactly like the timeline you had hoped when you were younger, or look exactly the way you thought, oh, I'll have 2 boys and a girl, or have 2 girls and a boy, or, you know, however many kids. It may look like a different number of kids or just different. Maybe you're a little older than you had hoped to be when you became a mother. That's all this means. It means it may be delayed from your ideal version of how things needed to look. Already 42. Well, there's still time, that's for sure. So it just may be that, you know, maybe you're only having 1 child or whatever, but let's just see. 9 of Wands. Again, this is about sticking in there, sticking to your dreams, sticking to your guns. And maybe you're doing something completely like out of the norm of what people do. Maybe you're doing like artificial insemination or something. Like, I don't know, you know, whatever views you may have on that as far as like, oh, I'll just be a single mom, like by choice and just have a baby and raise a baby. Like that is absolutely a potential. Or maybe you're meeting someone, it's just in a unconventional way. And then you guys, you know, fall in love and you want to just do all the things. And you're like, well, I'm 42, so we got to get the ball rolling on this. And then by 44, there's a baby. You just never know. So let's just see anything else Florence needs to know about building this family. Or it could even look, again, unconventional. It could even look like, you know, this person has a kid already or 2 kids that you fall in love with, and there you are. And this really is about not letting go of your dream fully, but just letting go of, or just accepting, I guess, not really letting it go, but accepting that, okay, I wasn't meant to become a mother at 24 or 32 or even 48 or 38, I should say. So what does this mean for me? There's still 2 upright cups here. So I still do see the potential for 2 souls to come through. And maybe, you know, a lot of times when you have pregnancies after 35, the potential for twins goes way up compared to under age 35. So maybe you do like a one and done pregnancy, but you get 2 children out of it. Like you just never know exactly. And that's the beauty of life, but also kind of sometimes the frustration of life is like, I want to know how this is all going to play out. But I'm getting this element of surprise here as well, of wanting to keep some of this a surprise for you, your spirit. So not like allowing all of the answers to come through. So it's like, oh, I love this. Okay, so this combination especially. So the 3 of Swords is about that heartbreak, like kind of almost grieving a life that hasn't happened for you yet, or grieving a life that didn't happen in the timeline or in the exact way that you had always hoped it would. 7 of Wands is about defending yourself, or just feeling like life is almost tossing you to the waves and you have to, like, instead of responding to life, you're like reacting left, right, and center, reacting. But I love the other card that came out with this is the 3 of Cups, which is about having emotional connections with those close to you, and like almost having this like supportive friend group or community or people around you that even if you choose to live life a very unconventional way or just do it differently than you had hoped originally, that you're going to have a lot of support for whatever, you know, way that you do this. So if you do want to become a mother, I do see that where there's a will, there's a way here, but that's going to be up to you exactly how this plays out in some ways, but then kind of up to your spirit and how it plays out in other ways. But this is really just about you following your intuition and, you know, just not beating yourself up for not already having what you had hoped you would have by now or any of that. Closing statement, advice, wisdom, guidance for Florence. Anything else she needs to know? Ooh, we got a lot going on here. Holy cow, a lot going on. We have spider with possibilities, and this is like the mother energy, divine feminine, creative life force energy. We have health. Love that. Very fertile energy here as well. Let's just put that out there. We have intellect. So this is about mentally figuring out what it is you want life to look like, and then starting to go in that direction. Even if it doesn't all play out exactly according to plan, at least you have a plan. Then we have inspiration and communication. I love that. So this could even be you, like, I think they call it scripting, where you write out in the present moment, like you already have the life that you want, and you basically write it out, or maybe even like writing a letter from your future self or to your future self. You can do like one of those three kind of avenues to kind of get yourself in the mental and heart space to even allow yourself to dream in that direction of motherhood, whatever that looks like for you, to open that channel up and really get the ball rolling on that. All right, so I hope that helps. I just heard if you can dream it, you can do it. So if you're dreaming about this, you can make this a possibility for yourself. It's just going to look maybe a little different than you had originally hoped, but you can still make this happen in whatever way it needs to happen. And you may look back on your life, 10 years from now and be like, wow, I kind of wished I had known at 42 what was going to happen at age ... whatever. Because I see you looking back very fondly and smiling and just being like, life has the funniest way of working out in your favor, but on its own terms, rather than you just dishing out like, okay, first this will happen, then this, then this, then this. I know it's very rare to know someone who knows exactly what they want early on and executes it exactly in the way that they had once hoped it to be. Life usually throws us through all these twists and turns, or our own spirit, kind of derails us or protects us, or maybe the matrix gets involved here, there, and everywhere. But at the same time, ultimately, I do feel our spirit is the one kind of calling the shots. I have a hair tickling me. There it is, the long one. Our spirit is definitely the one in the driver's seat when we can step out of ego and allow said spirit to get into the driver's seat. But as far as like completely derailing our lives, our spirit would never allow that to happen. So it will step in and kind of correct the steering wheel, or slam on the brake if we need to, or accelerate sometimes when we are a little terrified to be going so fast. Spirit can step in, our own spirit can step in and make things happen, or put a hard wall in front of us so certain things can't happen yet, but they may happen later. It's a whole world out here, isn't it? Beautiful. That was so helpful. Oh, I'm so glad. Just a lot of times when we start to worry, and we almost feel, especially women, this biological clock they keep telling us about, it's actually the men that more have the biological clock than a woman. It may get a bit harder to get pregnant as you get older, but the quality of what you usually are dealing with, compared to to compare the feminine egg with the masculine sperm, the egg usually maintains better quality, or at least if that egg that is released isn't of a high quality, your body won't really allow anything to fertilize or respond. But when it's a high quality egg, again, it's still in charge of the sperm as well, like vetting which sperm gets through. But ultimately what's involved and what's calling the shots is the spirit that's going to become that child. Is like, you know what? Yeah, I'll take this genetic blueprint. I'm coming in. I'm incarnating. And other times, they are trying, but something's just not adding up. And that same spirit will try 2, 3. Sometimes I've seen one person that I've read for 4 different times. This spirit tried to come through, and it ended in a miscarriage. And then finally the child was able to come through. In my own personal example, one of my 3 miscarriages was Wrigley. And then I had that miscarriage one cycle before he actually was able to come in. So he finally was able to come in. Yeah, it's very interesting. Very interesting how it is. But yeah, timing is really weird right now. So just trying to not feel like time is running out, especially when you're 42 and you want a family and it hasn't happened yet, that can feel terrifying. So just try not to feed the terror of it all, and just say, whatever's meant for me, I will have it. I will have it. Spirit can't hold you back from, nothing can hold you back from the things that are meant for you. Truly spiritually meant for you. Nothing, not even the Matrix and all the tricksters on the Matrix, in the Matrix, I should say, can keep what is meant for you from happening. They could delay it, they could throw wrenches in gears, but if this thing needs to happen, spiritually aligned and has to happen, which I feel for you, to have this child, whether again it's a stepchild, an adopted child, biological child, whatever, you will have what it is you seek. Even if it's not exactly the way you thought it would play out, you will get it. Just maybe in a different way. You got this, Florence. So try, again, I know it's easier said than done. Try not to worry or feel like that ticking clock is getting louder in your head. Like, oh, it's time's running out. Like, you have time. You do. You really do. Solar Siren's back. All right, just in time for our collective reading. Let's get into it. Where are we starting today? Let's go Cozy Witch. Let's do it. Okay. All right, just what do we need to know right now? I should probably timestamp this collective reading. Ooh, I'm getting plant updates from Proven Winners. Save 20% on Proven Winners plant food. Sounds fun. Okay, 2:30:15. Collective. What are you eating, Worm? Worm. I can hear you down there. What are you eating? You can answer me or you're going to get off there. Well, obviously.
What I had yesterday.
Oh. He's all food. And then he's like, what I had yesterday. All right. All right, Spirit, what do we need to know? This is just a little mini collective, I don't know, 5-10 minute reading. We'll just see what needs to come through today. Anyone watching now or on the replay? We have, wow, this 3 of Pentacles, 3 of Cups. Well, I think it was more 3 of Cups. I want to come through earlier. We have the 3 of Pentacles and the Empress. Well, this feels like Florence. Hello. We were just talking about mothers and percentage. This, I'm seeing more metaphorically speaking than literal birth of children. Birth of something that you may be collaborating on. And I don't mean that you have to have like another business partner or anything, because even something like what I do is a very collaborative thing. You know, think of the Substack I'm creating. Yes, I'm facilitating that with Substack, but then, you know, I'm putting things out there for you guys to come in and either resonate with or not, or whatever. So it's like a collaborative effort. So some of you, most of you, all of you probably are birthing something that is going to be a collaborative effort between you and an audience, or you and another. This could be a relationship as well, you know, collaborative effort. What needs to come through? What is kind of the theme of today's reading that just needs to come through? It literally fell into my lap with concept, and then on the back of the deck we have eternal. Wow. So the way that you conceptualize or kind of imagine, envision something taking root or taking place, this almost feels like an extension of Florence's reading in a lot of ways, to be honest. But the way that you once conceptualized this thing looking, this community you want to build, this job you want to get, this relationship you want to be in, you know, the child that you want to have, the way you once conceptualized that thing happening or popping off, there's a more eternal, wise force that is shaping kind of the funnel through which all of this energy is going to flow. So it may look a little different than you were thinking or hoping or wishing or praying, but in the meantime and long term, this actually is going to work out more in your favor, because you were actually actively looking to just settle for a version of what you had hoped for, rather than getting the whole dang thing and then some. You were just going to settle for this very, just in this little box version of something. You were just ready to like take my money, or let me sign on the dotted line for this contract, to settle for something that is way below you, way beneath you, way beneath your spiritual pay grade. And Spirit actually wants to deliver you what you deserve and what is owed to you. I hear what is owed to you from past life. All right, what's owed to you from past life? A damn lot. That's what. This whole thing plus 2 that fell. Let's read the slippery energy first. What's owed to our lovely, lovely people here? We have ring. A marriage will take place, either romantic or business. This is like a sealing of a deal or a signing of a contract is owed to you. Great personal sorrow, especially in a past life or past in this life, something that seemingly was taken away from you, or that you almost view a person, a company, the matrix at large as like the bad guy that took this thing from you that would have made your life better. But what I'm seeing is the way that you showed up in this role, you were actually just stifling your highest version to just kind of, again, culture. You're fitting yourself in the culture box. Like what does a wife show up as? Just taking the marriage example that's coming up here. What does an employee show up as? What does a mother show up as? And you kind of just take the average of what culture expects of a wife, a mother, an employee, a whatever, and like, well, that's the lens through which I need to make this thing happen. But remember, Spirit's stepping in and adjusting the neck of the size of the funnel. Remember that funnel analogy we were talking about last week? That neck that we've been dealing with has just been this really narrow, thin funnel that's been stopped up for many of us for a long time, or just maybe we'll get a trickle here and there or a little bit, or maybe it's flowing for a while and then just hard stop, hard pass on that. It just stops, or it's, doesn't do anything for a while. But what Spirit is looking to do for you is to widen that funnel so that when you are allowing that flow to come, it's faster, it's quicker, it's more divine. It's juicy. It's real juicy. That's what's showing up. Okay, so we have quite a stack here. We have purse. So it's definitely something to do with your finances, or maybe lack thereof. That is rights that are being wronged here. We have turkey. Someone is behaving stupidly. So again, the people that we may be dealing with in day-to-day life that just are not vibing with this new energy, they're not here for it. So we have younger man. This doesn't have to be technically someone younger than you, but just their frequency is lower than yours. So they are, I would say for 9 out of 10 of you watching, this is actually a man, masculine energy. Whether they're older or younger than you, they're just acting very immature in what it is you need to do. They're acting very immature and not listening to you. Maybe they're actively misunderstanding you because you're ready to step into a higher frequency, a new experience, and they just want to keep you held status quo. This could be someone at work for some of you. This is a partner for some of you. This is a family member for some of you. Because it's general reading, so I'm getting all sorts of pings here. Cain, pay attention to your health. So, a lot of times when we're not living in our spiritual alignment, our physical health will start to suffer. Hello. Yes, me. For sure. So just any weird things going on with your health, you can of course go to any kind of health practitioner that you go to, or literally just asking your body like what's going on, because you are ready for, wow. This all is just so beautiful together. Tulip is great passion. Sunrise, creative new ideas, new ventures, and a fresh start. And bridge, successfully overcoming a problem. But you have to be, I'm now hearing the Switchfoot song, Dare You to Move. Like you just literally have to start moving in your new direction, and your spirit and the universe will show up to illuminate the next steps on your path, the next steps. And then maybe you'll have this maybe the sun will come out and you'll just be able to see all the way down into the canyon or something. And then by nightfall, you've reached the canyon and now you're ready to rest. And then the next day, sun is fully out again. You could see all the way to the horizon once again. Oh, my nose is itchy. Very, very lucky energy coming in. But it's going to be, I'm hearing again, dare you to move. You're going to have to be the one to make the first move, because this person you're dealing with, or company you're dealing with, or matrix you're dealing with, whatever it is, but it's very masculine, toxic masculine energy that's showing up front and center for this person, company, matrix at large, whatever, patriarchy at large, whatever it is. You're going to have to be the one to say, nope, not doing that anymore. And you step in a new direction. It's going to have to start with you. And as you are on your path, you will meet others who are of like mind and are wanting to come together to build this support structure. Even if they're kind of, again, friendships can be support structures. It's kind of really showing up as like friendships. If this is something at work, very supportive coworkers, that you can actually become friends with or vibe with on levels beyond just, oh, you're my coworker. All right. One more. Let's go to the dream home fortune reading. What do we need to know? Especially as this energy is shifting and changing. Dare you to move. I heard it again. And then we have piggy bank. Oh my gosh. I love that. Back of the deck, we have trash can. That's why I said can. Yes, release, restart, renew. Your hands can't hold those new gifts while gripping that old trash. And, you know, we're not calling the people in our lives or the bosses and jobs and whatever trash, but just the energetic debris that's built up that just doesn't need to be there anymore. We're letting go of that. Sometimes the kindest choice is to walk away. Maybe not from the person or the job, but the energy. You're ready to show up in new energy so that you get a different result at said job or said, you know, whatever it is. Piggy bank, restraint, willpower, wealth. True riches lie not in accounts, but that reigns in greed. So a lot of times greed is a very ego-based way of going. This is not bye. Unless you're saying bye to like the energy, then I'm here for it. But I'm also here. I mean, obviously if you have to go, but I love having you here. Yes, this is about true riches lie not in accounts, but will that reigns in greed. I had to read it correctly. But in your will to rise above ego or to rise above people who are in ego and go in the direction that feels more spiritually wealthy, spiritually healthy, emotionally just supportive, even if there's no money involved. I mean, money is just one form of currency. Your health is a form of currency. Your attention is a form of currency. Just your vibration and who you are is like a form of currency on this planet in a way. And it's only going to become more prevalent that you honoring who you truly are on a spiritual level is going to be, like I keep saying around here, authenticity is going to be the new money, currency, the cash money. And the more authentic you are, the more abundance is going to start flowing your way. And those of us who have been in integrity and, you know, we're authentic and we've niched down so much that we only vibe with like 5 other people on the internet. Our time is coming for where we're finally going to be, I don't think rewarded is the right word, but just supported and held by being who we truly are. And it's going to start going the other way where, you know, it was, you know, cut someone else's to get ahead. And, you know, every man for himself, you know, use the necks of these other people to step on to get to the next rung of the ladder. All of that all the structures that have supported that kind of dog eat dog world are rapidly unraveling, or those rungs of those ladder are rapidly breaking off to where the more cutthroat you are, the harder it's going to be for you in this new energy, where these last 400 plus years have really rewarded people for harming others to get ahead. It's rewarded those people. I mean, just look at all the billionaires and now trillionaire in the world. If people were living authentically, it would never get to that. It just wouldn't. But if it did, if we were living authentically and the authentic ones who were in alignment with spirit were the billionaires and trillionaires, they wouldn't be, because they would be using that money or illusion. I will say illusion of money, because a lot of what makes certain people trillionaires and billionaires in this world, it's just numbers on a screen. It's stock prices. It's money that doesn't even exist, but we put our whole, like, not us, but like humanity at large puts their whole stake in their worth, in how much their account balance or the number on the screen of, you know, how much their stocks are worth, as like, well, that's how much I'm worth as a person. It's like, no, we're moving away from that. And even when these people, you know, when they're living in alignment and they start accumulating this wealth, they're not just going to keep accumulating it to accumulate it to accumulate it. They're going to start doing good in the world with that money. And then as a result of that, more money or currency, whatever that looks like in the future, is going to start coming to them to do more good in the world. We're going to literally do a complete 180. And it's not going to be all overnight. There will be people who can make this work overnight. I'm not saying there won't, but for most of us, it's going to be, you know, kind of that overlap, you know, timeline overlap, where we're still going to be bumbling and fumbling, even though this is the world that we've kind of been built for, that we're coming into. We've had to almost gaslight ourselves into conforming to the way that the world was. So we almost have to unlearn all that programming or conditioning or culturalizing that we've stepped into, and now just step back into our authenticity in ways that we haven't been able to be publicly supported in ever in this lifetime, but we will start to be. So good stuff coming in for all of us. Eventually, it's not all going to happen overnight, but some things will start to quantum leap and almost feel like they're happening overnight in a lot of ways. So hope that resonates for you guys. Well, reminder, if you're going to want to be part of what we've got going on the live stream Friday, I will start it over here to let you guys know what's going on. But then we're going to move over to Substack. It's free. It's free for now. The live streams will be going behind a paywall moving into July, not until then. So I don't have any tiers yet over there, but there will still be free stuff even. But the bulk of like our free one card pulls are free. It's part of what you're doing over there, energy exchange of money and all of that. But your one card pulls, the deep dive collective messages that we do, Cosmic Question Corner, all of that will be moving behind the paywall. I will post snippets of what we're doing just for free, just so people can still, you know, if you can't afford or don't want to afford to do that, you'll still get something, obviously. But our live streams over here will just do, like, if you're paying for a donation reading like we did today, that's what these live streams here will be. And then all the other fun, real deep divey stuff that we usually do here on this channel is from Friday on moving over to Substack. So it'll be free until July. Like anything we do on Substack will be free until July. And then after July, for the price of one personal reading that you would pay for here, you get a whole month over on Substack of all the goodies, all the fun things. Yes. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. All right. So I just posted the link for Harmony Portal Substack, and it's free to join Substack. You can put the app on your phone, or you can just, you know, don't have to do it through an app. You can just do it through the website, I do believe. You can do it on desktop as well, because it's just like a browser tab on my desktop. But I figured since I'm going on to Substack, I would get the Substack app. So I did. All right, you guys. Well, that's going to be it for me. Friday, we'll check in here around 11 a.m. No, I lied. We're going to have to be earlier because Wrigley's band camp, his band camp is having a concert at the end, everything they learned during band camp. So I'm going to have to go live earlier or later in the day. I'm not sure which yet, but I probably should figure that out, huh? But even if you can't be there for the live stream, if you subscribe ahead of time, it will email you. You can kind of set up how you want to be notified. You can just get notifications through the app, or you can get emails, but again, check your spam filter or whatever, or both. You can get notified on the app and emailed. That way, when I do go live, you'll be emailed and notified, hey, we're live. Or if I post a poll or I post a reading just randomly on a Friday night or something, it'll email you or notify you, letting you know, hey, she's live, or hey, she posted an essay on her childhood trauma, or whatever the case may be. Shadow work. The astrological alignments that are popping off right now, whatever the case may be. You'll get it right there in your email. So, and even if you only want to do free, you can still get it free, but it'll just be a very little bite size of what you're probably used to here. So just be warned about that. And if this is where our paths kind of go different directions, that's okay too. You know, I'll still be over here for personal readings. If that's all you really want to get out of this, that's totally fine. But I'm hoping that into maybe the near future, a year, 2 years from now, that whatever it is I'm creating over on Harmony Portal Substack can kind of be my income, to where I don't have to do personal readings, because it takes a lot more out of me to do personal readings than for me to do the collective message, which actually almost fuels me, because what I really want to do is get my 8-book series out. So basically, Harmony Portal Substack will be funding my life to be able to allow me to get my 8-book series out, which I don't want to, care to, need to make a dime off of. It would be great. It'd be cool. But I will write it regardless. I need to write it regardless, but I need the time and the space to write it. And usually to get the time and space to do something, you need to still pay your bills and stuff. So I still need income, and I still need and love and want to do this as well, but just on a more collective level, I guess. That way I can dive deeper into certain topics and cosmic questions, and spend more of my energy and attention and connecting to my spirit to get those kind of answers. But at least for the nearish future, I'll still be doing personal readings here, not on Substack, but here, as we have for 5 years now. 2020, no, almost 6 years. It'll be 6 years in November that I've been doing live streams and personal readings on live streams. Yes, yes. You'll still get personal readings by way of the 1-card pulls that we do, but we'll probably be more, I don't know, probably more, maybe we'll sometimes do like a general 1-card pull, but other times it'll be like, what do you specifically need to know about this 4 outer planetary transit that's coming up? And then pull a card on that, kind of put it that way. Yeah. And I might even do over there, like for subscribers every month, we'll do, this is something I think would be fun. I'll just put every paid subscriber's name into a hat, and we'll pull, and they'll get a personal reading there on Substack, just as a thank you for being part of the community, getting additional stuff. I'm excited. I'm so excited. But this way I can still do all the things I love to do, and the energy exchange will be flowing both ways. It will be good. I won't burn out. I won't feel at times, like, especially when I was really underpricing my readings and I was doing $30 to $45 readings in 6 hours. I felt really drained, and I want to come to you guys with my best foot forward, and hopefully, the energy exchange is it's just changing right now to where those of us who've been able to just churn out all this free, elevated, really great content for a long time, but just been able to offer it for free, it's sucking the souls from us until we get that energy exchange flowing, and then it starts to fuel us rather than take from us. And I'm not saying you guys that are donating and stuff are taking anything from me, because the energy exchange is there. So that it's so weird. It's so weird. But if I'm just doing all these in-depth free pick a cards and all this stuff, that's when it starts to get to me, It's so hard to explain, but hopefully if you've ever kind of been in one of these arenas where, you're doing free things for people, even if they appreciate it and stuff, the energy exchange is still just different. I don't know. It's just, it's off. It's weird. It's shifting and changing right now too. So it's going to become increasingly more difficult for you to even feel the need to continue forward, giving anything out just completely for free, unless you're, again, giving from your overflow. I need to get to a place where I can give from my overflow again. But you got to kind of give what you get and give what you get what you give, and give what you get what you give what you get. That's what I'm trying to say. Jessica cannot wait. Yeah, if you're subscribed to Substack ahead of time, it will let you know. If you are not subscribed and then we go live on there on Friday, I don't think you'll be able to see it. So yeah, I don't know. So I would say if you want to make sure you don't miss it, just subscribe ahead of time, and then that way you'll be there. You'll be able to just get right on and click on the live, but what we'll do to start out is I'll probably go live maybe twice. Once just to test it out. I haven't tested it out. Or maybe I'll just go live. That's what I might do. Just tomorrow during the day, just to mess around. I might go live on there just to test it, because I've never gone live on there. And I'd rather know what I'm doing on Friday for this webinar that I want to give over there, and reading and webinar. So maybe I will have to test this tomorrow during the day when the kids are at camp and their strength training. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So if you're around tomorrow and just want to come hang out, maybe I'll pull a free card for you if you're there and just want to figure this new Substack live feature out with me. I'll pull a free card for you. How about that? As a thank you for helping me bumble through this and figure it out, you'll get a free 1-card pull. Yeah, that's what we'll do. So tomorrow, I need to make sure I don't forget. I don't think I will. It's all I've been thinking about. I'm so excited. I don't think I even need to make a note for myself, but I will anyway. Test Substack live feature. I'll probably do this around 10 or 11 tomorrow, probably. We'll just say 11. That's kind of our normal time. Let's just do 11 a.m. Mountain Time. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. 11 a.m. tomorrow on Substack. If you don't get an email or whatever, and it's after 11 a.m. Mountain Time, but in your time, either check your email or just go over to Substack, hermyportal.substack. I'm sure it will show you somewhere on the page that I'm live. Again, I've never been on anyone else's Substack live stream, and I've never gone live on Substack. So it's going to be a learning experience for all of us. We'll bumble through it together, and hopefully you get a free 1-card pull if you're there. So how about that? And that's going to be it for me today. So thanks again, you guys, so much for all those likes, comments, shares, subscribes, donations, and all the things. And oh, please wish both boys the best of luck tonight in their championship games that are going on at the same time. So I'm going to have to kind of run between fields and watch both games at the same time. Wrigley's never made it this far in the tournament. Boston made it this far last year, but they took second. Either way, it'll be fun. It'll be good. Yeah, tomorrow at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. That'll be noon Central to 1 Eastern and 10 a.m. Pacific. But outside of those time zones, I don't know. I don't have a clue. So if you're on the other end of the world, I'm not sure what the time zone difference is, but you guys might, because it'll just be the same time we normally start live streams in your time zone, but tomorrow, a Thursday, which we never go live on Thursday. Until tomorrow, we will. I don't think I've ever been live on a Thursday. I've done a lot of Saturdays, some Sundays, and then Wednesday and Fridays. I don't think I've ever been live on a Thursday. No. First for everything. Tomorrow will be our first. Yes. Good luck to them. Well, thanks again, you guys. Oh, she just got back from groceries. Fun. All right. I will be back here. I will maybe a little bit before 11, I'll pop over here just to remind people to come over for our test for a free 1-card, just to test it out. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't want to be unprepared on Friday, especially because I'm on a time crunch, and I want to keep that webinar anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour. I know me, I talk a lot, but I want to keep it concise. I don't want me just rambling like I do here, at least not on that very specific live stream. I want it to be something people can look back to and refer back to for their own reference, without having to get through a bunch of baseball talk and this talk and that talk. TikTok. All right, guys, I already did my outro. So peace. And I will see you tomorrow on Substack, but I'll probably check in here first to be like, let's go. Let's do this thing. Or maybe I'll be live on both just to, I don't know. I probably won't. I'll probably just be live on Substack, but I'll start here and head over to Substack, get that going, blah, blah, blah. I know I love our chit chat and rambling too. And there will still be some of that, but what I'm going to do is, because you guys are actually paying over there eventually, is keep meticulous timestamps for everything. So if we're doing the webinar, I'll timestamp not only, webinar starts at this time, but like, okay, what portion of the webinar? Okay, right here we're talking about Jupiter. Right here we're talking about Venus. Right here we're talking about whatever. Venus we're not really talking about on the live stream Friday, but that's beside the point. Just as an example. And try to keep really good timestamps so that it's easy to navigate and then refer back to, because a lot of what I have, especially with the collective readings, they're just somewhere buried in my rambling, and I'm sure no one's really going back to watch those anyway, but I'll probably have to title. It won't just be free collective reading. It'll be, I'll title it. I'll title it better, more catchy, more, again, nuanced. That's like my word of the year, I think. Nuance. Anyway, I've said my intro. I've said my piece. I love you guys. I will see you tomorrow if you want to join us for our little test run and a free card pull, just to say thank you for helping me with my test run. And then Friday, we'll have our first official, I may not even save because what it does is, I guess you go live on Substack, and then it will no longer be, it won't like automatically upload like when we're done on the live here on YouTube. I'll just push end stream and then it'll automatically go on my page. But over on Substack, if I want to post it, it will just put it in my drafts, I think. At least that's what I read. And then I'll have to publish that draft. But that will give me time to put all the timestamps and all that stuff. And then I'll publish it. So, for example, if you're not at the live stream of whatever live stream we do on Substack, you may not see it till the next day because I want to get it all, you know, get all the timestamps and stuff. And then I'll upload it as a post with, you know, the live stream, the timestamps, and it'll be more official, more easy to navigate, hopefully. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. That's my plan. I'm going to try to stick to it as best as I can. So, all right, you guys, already said bye. So bye again. Love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.